man. Legacy Lounge. Sometimes people want to talk.
We have incredible guests here.
What's up, brother?
The definition of the Legacy Lounge is the stuff that he's putting together. He's a great community leader. His story is amazing.
We are back in the lounge. And man, you might not be excited as I am. I know I'm excited today because I got my dude up here. We go way back. Man, this is AKA Oakland's finest, Ray Yizzle,
Yes.
entrepreneur. This
Yeah.
dude has been killing it forever. And man, I played some of the best basketball I've ever been around was because of you. Ray Young.
Man, I'm
Thank
happy
you for
to be
being here,
here,
man.
Mr. Rene Jocks, a.k.a. Nene. And Chris, pleasure to meet you, brother.
Pleasure to meet you, brother.
I'm
This
glad
is
to
our
be here.
inaugural one, man. You're
Yeah.
the one. This is actually episode 10 and the first one in our new spot. So we
Nice.
got a new lounge.
Nice.
Appreciate having you here.
And
And
the lounge is fly. I know you guys can't see it, on camera, but it's fly. You did it.
oh,
you and Chris did a great
we
job.
do video
Appreciate
here,
it.
baby.
Yeah.
They are gonna see it on camera in a
That's what I'm
second,
talking
man.
about.
So
It
we
looks
good.
good.
We good.
Literally putting up soundproofing as you got here.
Yeah.
Hey, why you had to bust us out like that?
Well, the thing is, you got to show the grind sometimes.
Yeah.
So I wasn't mad at it. It was
Oh
good look.
man. Well, here at the lounge, man, we telling stories, man. Your legacy story and what you're building is amazing, but people out there don't know you. But before we start from who you are, and so our audience can get familiar with you, I'm personally, I just got to start with some stuff just because I loved playing with you, man. I got some of the best basketball memories ever being around you.
Hey, Nene, I'm gonna bring you back even further.
Mm.
We played baseball.
I told him we
did.
played baseball
We played
together.
baseball.
Babe
together.
Ruth baseball.
That's actually where I knew of Rene was baseball.
Allen
and
Temple?
this dude was nice. Yes.
Alan Temple
I was
and
Allen Temple.
Duvernay.
I think you were Duvernay.
I was
yeah,
Duvernay.
absolutely.
So shout out to
We're
all of our
rivals.
Oakland cats out there, Babe Ruth baseball.
Man, Jimmy Rollins, Dontrell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have some legends.
No doubt. We've played around amazing players all over the place because, Oakland and the Bay Area is such a hotbed for it all, man. But
Absolutely.
I will point out one of my favorite. I had so many good memories from winning in Vegas when we were playing some of the best ones when we were in 7th and 8th grade
I'm
and
gonna tell
everything.
you. I'm gonna tell you a Vegas story in a minute.
All
Keep
right.
going. No, I'm with you.
But
With
you know what one was my favorite, man? When we busted out to Michigan together, me, you,
Yep.
Adrian McCullough,
Yes, sir.
and Joe Barker, man.
Shout out to AD and Joe Barker.
Listen,
Yes.
man, I have to bring that one up first because that was one of my most special times. Coach, I don't even know if can coaches just roll with you out to a different state for a week and just bring y'all out there? I don't even know if that's legal,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, looking back,
Yeah.
that's true. I
Let's
didn't
be
even think
real.
about that. That is
But
true.
we got to play out there. We played it multiple times, but we got on the court together. It was 4 of us. We picked up one dude. So we were technically in Indiana at the time?
Yep.
We didn't know it at the time, but the guy, what's it, Kryler? Dave Kryler? The one who picked the top 25 in
Was it Kyle Sports or
no, he was the national one, USA Today.
US? Okay, got
USA
it.
Today.
Yep.
Dave Kreidler, I think his name was. And so we didn't know he's in the stands. Coach brings us out there. It's like, oh, y'all just go play pickup ball. It was the Mr. Indiana for high school. Bunch of JC cats. Me
That
and
were
Ray,
nice.
we're in the summer, so we're about to be sophomores. AD and Joe Barker about to be juniors. And then you remember what happened out there after that, man?
Respect. That's what happened after that.
We didn't get off the court for 2 hours.
Respect, because what happened was, this was back in the day when I felt like California had kind of a black eye. Like, we were known for being soft and, we wanted to shoot jumpers. And we went out to Indiana and they thought we was soft. It was the same thing. Yep. And we were light-skinned. I mean, we got to talk about that a little bit more. Hey, me and Nene were light-skinned.
Hey.
So back in those days, like
Yes.
Steph Curry kind of evened it. He made it okay. But, bro, back in the mid-'90s, losing to a light-skinned dude was like,
You can't show up on the block no more.
Oh, man. So when they see me and Nene pull up, boy, they used to think it was so sweet. And then by the time we ended up Can I cuss?
Yeah.
Busting their ass.
Man.
And that's what I remember from traveling, playing basketball. Is like now I get to experience how all these other cats play,
Yeah.
and how they think and how they process the game. And shout out to my favorite coach still to this day, Coach Laporte.
Yes, sir.
We were there. Coach Laporte used to bring us to his summer home in, what was it called? It had some weird. No, it was LaPorte, Indiana.
No, it wasn't LaPorte. We
Was it?
stayed in at the edge of Michigan. I can't even remember the small town, but
it had a
LaPorte was
weird
right
name,
there.
But LaPorte was right there. And we went down there. All we did was shoot jumpers, work on our game, and then we were on the jet skis all day.
Yeah.
That was what our summer was. And I'll tell you another story. My parents had to talk me into going.
Yeah.
I was so goofy back then and so Oakland. I wanted to stay in Oakland. Can you, dude?
Yeah. Crazy. Hey,
Bruh.
there literally was a KKK rally marching by like within a mile of our house.
That's where David Goggins is from,
Yeah.
Indiana.
Yeah.
Really?
Bad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's from Indiana.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense, dude.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
especially in that little area, it's like, man, you got to be tough because there was like between the KKK, the Woods, and all the country stuff that
Amish
was
people?
going on. Oh yeah, it was a weird spot, but I was so grateful once again. Like now looking back, I always say like one thing that I will take from basketball. It took me practically all over the world.
Everywhere, man.
What position do you play?
So at that time, I was a small forward because I was taller than the average.
Yep.
You know,
And he could jump out the gym.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
and I could jump. So you had to be a two or a three. Now my dad is 6'7".
Oh wow.
So I'm only, I say I'm only 6'4", but
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they were thinking like, nah, he'll be 6'7". So like, yeah, nah, small forward. And then by the time I left UCLA, I was the point guard.
Yeah.
So I switched my game up a ton, but it all started by Coach Laporte telling me, hey, dude, you're not a big man.
Yeah.
You know, get your ass, you know, dribble the ball, work on your handles, work on your jumper. He changed my jumper. And I want to say he changed my jumper that summer.
Yeah.
Because I had a little tricky one, but then after that, and seeing you and Nate.
Yeah.
Nene's always, first of all, Nene's always had a pretty J.
That's all I can do is shoot, man.
Always has had a pretty J. So I stole, it's funny, looking back at my jumpers, like I stole a little bit of Nene. What was my guy that, from the Suns, or I'm sorry, the Supersonics that used to shoot?
The Super
Ray Allen?
Sonics.
No, no, before.
You said the Suns.
He's a
Were you
coach.
talking about Rex Chapman?
No, he's a coach now.
The coach.
McMillan.
McMillan.
Wow,
God.
is he from Oakland?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't. But for some reason, I used to watch Gary Payton all the time.
Yeah.
That's what it was. And he was the shooter on that team, so I needed to clean up my J. So it was a little bit of Nene, a little bit of McMillan. That's
Wow.
Wow.
yeah.
That's crazy.
True story.
Well, we start off with a story, but I need to go back. I just want you to kind of give me the cliff notes for our audience, man. Who you are. I knew where you grew up, but give us the cliff notes of who you are and how you grew up, man.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm obviously I'm born and bred in Oakland. You know, no matter where I go, I let everybody know I'm from Oakland.
Love it.
I've been in LA since I was 18, practically on and off, and everybody knows me as Ray from the Bay. And when they say the Bay, I go, no, it's Ray from OAK.
Yes, sir.
Which is Oakland. So I'm definitely proud to be from Oakland. Taught us a lot, you know, on and off the court. Just about being tough, being, you know, savvy, street smart. Also along with, you know, what we call town biz, which is also, you know, being savvy. And my goal in basketball, obviously, like everybody else, was to get to the NBA.
Yep.
Make a whole bunch of money, and I'm just going to invest in real estate.
Yep.
Now, obviously, that didn't quite happen, but I always tell people, though I was not in the NBA, I had the same lifestyle.
Yeah.
I was still, I mean, you know, the majority of my friends from UCLA went to the NBA. So I had a lot of shared experience, a lot of shared knowledge. And I knew that, hey, if I didn't make it in the NBA, I was going to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, that was still, you know, my North Star is what I would say.
Yeah.
So when I say I've done everything, I mean, I've done everything. Okay. So, I mean, like right now I'm selling a property in Bakersfield. So I invested in real estate. And this was in the early 2000s. Soon as I got out of college, invested in real estate. You guys remember the real estate boom in early 2000s. I took advantage of it, still kept a property. And then I was like, shit, what did I do after real estate? I was with Mas.
Yeah.
I was with Mas. I know people don't like it, but I did do network marketing for a while because that's where I found out I was like, oh, I'm actually a really good salesman, right? Like I can sell an idea or a concept really well. So once I got out of that, I kind of knew, sales was some form of a North Star. So I started selling. I got in the cannabis industry, and let me tell you why I got in the cannabis industry. I know that was a sharp left.
Yeah.
But it was because I know if you remember Khalid and Kwame, my next door neighbors.
For sure, man.
Their mother, Mama Sue, and you can look her up right now. I mean, she's a huge cannabis brand, and she was the first African American woman to get a dispensary license.
I did not know that.
Most people didn't. So I was in the cannabis industry probably from 2012 to about 2017. And, Mama Sue was a huge catalyst in that.
Yeah.
Me and her sons, we grew. That was when you could sell directly to the dispensary without having a license and all that. So we made that work.
Yep.
And that whole time, though, which was funny, I was in the Bay at that time. And the whole time, I was noticing how media was taking off in Los Angeles. And I was like, all right, after, this run, I'm going to go back to LA and I'm going to get in the media.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know how this is necessarily going to work out, but I'm like, life has showed me I'm a good enough salesman and can transfer ideas pretty well. And I said, I'm going to find my lane in that. And I did, slowly but surely. I had a crazy health scare.
We definitely need to hear that whole story.
I'll tell you that one. But essentially, I died for 3 days. Came back like baby Jesus, right?
Man.
Thank God, to the Most High. Appreciate coming back. And Baron Davis was the first person that gave me an opportunity, and he was the first one that told me, hey, man, you would be a good producer. He was like, dude, everybody, people like you. You're real spoken, you could sell. And he was like, a lot of, production is just figuring it out. And if you know the people, that's like half the battle. So one thing that I tell people all the time, and I still don't know how this happened, but I've had a gift for networking.
No doubt.
That like,
everybody loves Ray Young, man.
It's like it's so natural. I couldn't even really give you a blueprint. But the one thing that I did figure out is like I'm just so curious.
Yeah.
So I ask Nene all the time. Hey, bro, wait, tell me about these laundry mats, and I always check in just because I was curious. So I realized that was one of my super strengths. So between me wanting to go in the media world along with my networking skills, that's where I landed, so let's say 12, 13 years from playing basketball. I stopped playing hoop professionally when I was 26. So yeah, I mean, what is that? I don't know how many years that is, but whatever, 17
years.
Yeah. Whatever
we get old, Ray. We get old.
Yeah, I know.
Ray.
It's like crazy to think about that, right? It's like, damn, I haven't hooped professionally in 17 years, but I still play to this day.
Yep. I see it.
So yeah, that's pretty much how I got here. Now I'm fully in media. That's why I'm like, dude, I love what you guys did. I'm impressed. I love to see it.
We little babies in this thing.
Nah,
we
bro.
Babies in this thing.
Hey, you guys are big stepping, as they say. Straight big stepping for real. So that's how I got here. So at the end of the day, Ray's an entrepreneur. I'm still invested in real estate. I'm actually selling a property now.
Why are you selling that property?
It was my grandmother's property, and she passed away the middle of this year.
Okay.
Yep. So we're gonna fix it up. Put a little love and attention in there. And funny, we were talking about this before the show. Once I heard the rates were going down, I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
Ooh,
Hold
on.
on.
Okay.
It's
right?
It's so
I was
funny.
like, yes. Right?
I mean, we Renee and I met doing real estate, so
Yep.
we partnered up about, I want to say 5 or 6 years ago, and with the change in the market, we're like, we got to do something, because I feel like, as he's saying, you know, he's a big networker. I feel like I could relate to that, and we started these things called backyard talks, where I'd go to his house, he'd come to my house, we set up the cameras, and we would talk real estate.
Yep.
But then
You know
after,
what's funny? That's how Matt and Stack started.
Are you serious?
Dude, they were doing FaceTimes over the pandemic.
let's go.
That's crazy.
You get what I'm
wild.
saying? So the fact that you guys had cameras and so I'm like, bro, this is all, you know, this is supposed to happen. So I love to hear that.
Well, we have massive inspiration from all the smoke.
No-
I mean,
no
massive
doubt.
inspiration. I play basketball, not nearly on the level you guys did, and we will tell the story where I played you 1-on-1. I almost beat Renee in a game of 1-on-1. The
Almost.
only-
He said
hey,
almost. I heard the almost, but I was
so
like, okay.
so the cool thing about Nay is he's one of the most humble dudes that I've ever met in my life. That's number one.
Sure.
But I've only known him from the real estate side. So when we play basketball, I'm like, God damn, this dude's jumper is nasty.
What I tell you? I was like,
Nasty.
dude.
Now I had about 30 pounds on him, so I was
got me 2 days after
I was
I did
posting them
this,
up.
man.
No, I can't
Wait,
dribble.
But I thought, Nene, weren't you bodybuilding
That's
for a
what
while?
he got me 2 days after my show.
Fitness competition.
I was
So he dropped weight.
170 pounds. I'm 25 pounds heavier
that's
walking
right.
around.
So
normally.
I'm 6'3",
Really?
about 220.
Got it. Okay.
Lean
Right?
it on me.
And when I played basketball, I was a utility player. So I was like, I always joke around. I'm like, my game was modeled like Anthony Mason minus the 16 points. I'm good for about 2 to 3 points a game.
Yeah.
But I'd snack
But
about
your
12.
screen game, your rebounding, the details.
And-
you need a guy like that.
We
That's
do.
what I'm saying.
We
You
do,
need-
but on
especially as much
one-on-one.
as I used to shoot, I needed you.
No doubt. We all needed him. But when we playing one-on-one, you know, he get tired, he start to flail, and I thought I was going to lose my whistle up here, lose a tooth or something.
Man. But basically what ended up happening was my cardio ran out. My cardio ran out, which is usually what happens.
What was the number when you realized?
I was up 6-1 at one point. We played to 15. I was up 6-1.
Your cardio went out after 7 points.
We were banging. We were banging. I was still giving
Badly,
them the business
bro.
down there.
I know.
And what was the
Tough.
final
And-
score?
I think like 15-11.
No, you
15-10?
didn't get. I don't think you got but one more point after
Ooh,
six.
yeah, when your
Whatever.
when your cardio goes out, everything is nasty. The jumper is
Man.
nasty.
It's all bad.
That was a
It's
good
all
time,
bad.
man. We raised hella money
we
for
raised
charity.
like $3,000 for some charity
Awesome.
during COVID. But to finish my point, we started backyard talks, and then when the shift in the market, that's when I asked you, I'm like, why are you selling? Because I'm in a place right now in real estate for the past like 2 years. There's just not a lot of people selling homes right now. The market's just really, really funky. So we decided, you know what? Let's take backyard talks, but let's turn it into a podcast.
There you go.
And actually do something that we're passionate about, and like just sit
And we
here.
never talk about real estate.
No.
We're interested in the people who come on here, hearing the story. The legacy is the person that comes on here, talk about what they're doing and where they're going. You know,
Yep.
so that's been
Yeah.
dope, man.
I've had the privilege to meet some of your friends. Do they know Jarrell?
Jarrell Lowe,
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
our guy.
Yes,
So, like,
yes.
I
Old
hel-
school
I
Jarrell
helped
Lowe.
him.
Okay.
So through some referrals to him, Adam obviously. I mean, I'm not just saying this,
AC.
but like that was my most favorite prize referral that you've ever given me was Adam. Adam's the guy.
Yes.
Adam's just the homie, but
Yes, sir.
Casares?
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Legend.
he helped
So
Adam.
it's cool
he
for
helped
me
Jarrell
getting to meet more. of the,
Hey, Fahey.
Fahey's in
legend.
the house. He's
That's
behind
what-
the scenes,
Hey,
baby.
listen, I feel like our high school team, that's why I say we got to get the guys together. We had some of the best characters you could ever ask for on the team. And
Oh,
everybody was so different, different walks of life, different backgrounds. And it was so funny how we all came together.
No doubt.
And what people, so this was another thing too. People thought that we were like some like super team or like, you know how AAU, like you had to get the best guy and blah, blah, blah. And we ended up playing, that's how we met Matt. But the point was, dude, I knew this dude from Babe
Yeah,
Ruth.
we all grew up
it was
around
like
each
he was
other.
from down the street. I
Yeah.
lived up 35th.
Yep.
You lived
Oh,
down
just off of High Street.
Yeah. So I'm like, bro, we weren't, it always felt like, dude, we were still the neighborhood guys. And then we go to St. Joe's and we meet the Adams, the Matts, all these other cool dudes. So I go like, and Jarrell.
Yeah, Jarrell was there, baby.
Jarrell was there. So I was like, man, we just had an awesome group of guys.
It was such a good run, and Chris, let's put it into perspective here. You know, there's a lot of like great teams. I'll put it in perspective. Up here, Endercombe was hella good last year. They were actually ranked in the state higher than Bronny's team was.
Really?
One above.
Okay.
They didn't have nobody go D1. They were good. The year before us, our year and the year after, 9 Division I athletes, and what, another 4 or 5 to Division II?
Yep. And
Crazy.
I still say this. If Nate and Rene would have waited their senior year, I go, in my personal opinion, I think they could have got a scholarship in the Pac-12. In my opinion.
If they would have waited?
If they would have waited, because they signed early. Because what happened in at least from our perspective, it was like, dude, I didn't want to go through the whole drama of picking schools. I don't think any of us, we didn't care. We were just trying to hoop.
I broke my foot junior year in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah,
That's
true,
the other thing.
Yeah,
so
I
forgot
about
a bad
that.
summer
I
because
forgot
I was
about
coming
that.
off an
He's
injury.
coming off the injury. I did forget about that. That is true. So you kind of had,
It was bird in the hand type of thing.
So,
I wasn't sure. What if I got hurt again? Would I have the offer? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I still say, damn, if Nate, we would have had our run, they would have for sure gotten to the
Ben
sure.
Braun told Coach Gordy that I was a Pac-10 player.
Yeah,
to his face. That's
bro.
and I wanted to go to Cal. I was the Cal coach at the time.
And
So,
that would have been that would have been your spot too.
I wanted to go to Cal
because you would have got the Cal. You would have played in the Pac-12 and bro.
Pac-10 back then.
Or Pac-10 back then. But you also were getting straight A's.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, people. I always have a lot of respect for hoopers like my little brother who could hoop and get straight A's. So I go, that's some real legacy shit right there. Because I go like, dude, I know what it takes to perform on this court and then to go home and have the discipline to sit there, study, do his thing. I was impressed because essentially I was the exact opposite. So, hey, my legacy was I think I got most likely to fall asleep in class, which was real.
Damn, was that real?
That was real talk.
Remember that.
So let me but let me give you some perspective of why I actually took that as a badge of honor. My mom was pissed, so let's get that clear, okay? You got you got a black family that is now paying for school, okay? Now. I'm the first child that in probably our whole entire family that has ever, gotten paid. Not that I got paid, but I'm saying I had to, pay to go to St. Joe's, right? My mom saw that and she was pissed because obviously I got most athletic and all this other stuff, right? The only thing she was focused on, Ray, how in the world did you get most likely to fall asleep? And I said, Mom, how in the hell did you think I was going to become a McDonald's All-American if I was at home studying? What are you talking about?
Wow.
Man, let's go.
Literally, what are you talking about? So what my finesse was, I did all my homework in class.
Yep.
Because what would happen is we had practice from 3:30 to 5:30.
Yep.
What people didn't know, after 3:30 to 5:30, I didn't go home and study like everybody else did. Guess where I was at? I was at the YMCA from 7 to 10 every single night. My dad worked out at the YMCA. Come to find out, that's how I met all of what I call the hood hoopers, right? That's how I met Zarek Payton. I don't know if you remember Quincy Bozeman.
QB, that's my dude.
Yeah, his son is doing really well right now.
Yeah, he is.
So this is how I met these guys, and that was my ritual. I knew even back then, I just played more basketball than everybody else. That was it. And I told my mom that, and she did, it was one of those things, she didn't know how to take it, but she was just like, huh. And I was like, yeah, Mom, I can't, I was like that both wasn't going to happen. I wasn't going to be a McDonald's All-American and get straight A's. And I would always, every year, which always pissed off my parents, every year I would get straight A's one time. Just to let them know. Hey, right? Because I knew that would buy me, you know what I mean? That'd buy me some time, right? Or if I messed up or, came home late, I got the straight A, So that was the thing. And also people don't know too, in order for me to go to St. Joe's, my parents told me straight up, I better not ever see a C.
Wow.
ever. They were paying for school.
Heck
And like I
yeah.
said, you know, my family got better with time is what I tell people. But I'm like, nah, dude, I'm not gonna say we were broke, but like, no, we didn't. Hey, we didn't have it like that.
For real.
Forgive me for asking.
No, you're good.
St. Joseph is a private high school.
Private
It's a,
high
pri-
school
it's a
in
private high
Alameda.
school in Alameda, and to give you context, it's like, okay, we're from East Oakland, so he was from High Street, I was from up 35th, right? So to go to Alameda for us was like kind of like a big deal because you're Oakland kids, now you're going to Alameda, St. Joe's, but now you're a private school. Like I said, we're already light skinned.
What would have been the high school that if you guys didn't
Skyline.
go? Skyline.
Yep.
Skyline. Were there some players that were produced out of
Skyline?
Skyline?
Oh, yeah.
And I'll tell you a funny story about Skyline. I was supposed to go to Skyline to play football. Coach Beam
Play football?
Coach Beam
Ooh.
had recruited me to be a
Coach
wide
Beam.
receiver. He was like, yo, if you come over here, I got a spot for you. I promise you would love the game. You're perfect.
Did you play football young?
No, not organized. I was, and then this is kind of how I even got my sports rep. I was a park hopper. That's
Yeah.
why I was like, I don't even know what these kids do. I wouldn't even know what to do as a kid. I went from park to park to park. Me and Adrian McCullough.
Yeah.
True story.
Yeah.
You can ask him. We used to go to park to park to park. That's how we played basketball. And if we weren't playing basketball, we were playing football. We played tackle football all the time on the regular grass, tackling each other. That was our sense of fun. So that like people always ask, like, yo, when did you start playing basketball? Well, technically, I played like kind of my whole life. I just didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's just like, oh, we just hooping. Yo, let's go to the park. We just got finished playing Madden,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
or Tecmo Bowl.
Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah, all right. Let's go to Allendale. Let's
Yeah.
go to Redwood Heights. Let's
Yeah.
go to Jordan Park. So that was like our hustle. So that was life in those days. And I always tell people I just happened to play more basketball. That was it. That had to change when I got to UCLA in terms of like understanding what a professional was, but at least for the high school time, I knew I played more basketball than everybody else. So your basketball hours were never going to add up to mine.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And tell me about UCLA, man. Like, I know you got some crazy stories. I don't know what you want to get into, but
No, we'll
we got
keep it
to look
PG-13.
from we got to look from afar. Obviously, came down there, hung out with you a few times, but me and Matt and them used to come back up from Southern California, like, what we doing at Sac State, man? Hella mad because UCLA was cracking. Tell me about UCLA, man.
So first of all, outside of our high school experience, right? The only time that I would go back to is still UCLA. And let me tell you why. So UCLA was so dope because not only did you have the like LA surrounding you, right? So you knew at any given moment you could do whatever you wanted to do. There was something going on. There was a festival. There was a party. There was a shindig, something. So it was great for me because I knew I never had to think about that. I didn't have to worry about something to do, and on campus, it was like its own planet. So UCLA is 40,000 students. Okay, we came from St. Joe's, which we had 109 or 10 people in our class that graduated.
We graduated with like 88. Because
Yeah.
all of our best friends got kicked out.
Man, right? Sure did, yeah, crazy, right? And
George.
so the wild thing was, now I go from St. Joe's to this big ass school, right? And I'm like, dang. You see the lights. You see them playing Arizona. My junior year, I was going down and staying with Barron in his dorm, and I remember I just couldn't wait. So by the time I got there, I mean, I was probably just foaming at the mouth of like, damn, this is real, right? And being from Oakland, I mean, it was probably the wrong mentality looking back, but there was a part of me that felt like, shit, I had made it.
Yeah.
Because one of my major goals in life was to get my ass out of Oakland. Oakland was rough at that time. I mean, a lot has changed now, but it was just like, nah, I knew I needed to get out of there.
No, it's still rough now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. But back then, you could imagine I mean, that was technically the dope era.
Yeah,
really
it
about
was.
Yeah.
It
Right?
was. No doubt.
That was like the real dope era of Oakland. And I knew I wanted out, and UCLA was my way. And when I got there, boy, I mean, I was just ecstatic. And my boy Matt Barnes is there.
Yes,
we're,
sir.
we're
Roommates.
roommates now, right? So me and Matt got linked up when we were probably 14.
Yeah, no, our first
Yeah.
when we all started playing together. I think it was 16. I want to say we played the last 3 years together.
Okay.
Is what I think it was because I remember Coach Rivers telling us about
Yeah,
this
we gotta
dude
get
in
Riz-
Sacramento.
We got to get Riz on here, too.
Oh, we gonna get Rivers on
Yeah,
here.
we got to get Riz.
But talking about this tall dude that was from Sacramento who was hella dope in football too, but he was gonna play with us in the summer, and that happened to be Matt Barnes. That's the first time I heard of him.
Yep. And he was my roommate, so we had a blast. Okay. And
Yes, sir.
Matt was a whole different human being back then. You know, he's more but we had I'll tell you this. So on a basketball level,
Name off the people you're with, so put in the context of the
I'll put
UCLA
in- yeah,
teammates
so-
that you were with.
And
Okay.
go back real quick. When you said you would stay at Barron's place,
You're talking about high school, right?
So-
high school, yeah.
was Barron from Oakland?
No,
he's
so
already
me
at
and, me and
UCLA.
Barron had played on like this California All-Star team that had played in the Boston Shootout. So this was when they used to take teams from the state and you would go play each state in the Boston Shootout. It was on TV, et cetera, et cetera. So he was my point guard. I had never seen a West Coast point guard with the flair that he had outside of Nate Marassi. This is why I like Barron. It was really because of Nate Marassi. Because you remember Nate had, first of all, he's the coldest Filipino ever. Ever. Because he used to get, it was like, I'm light-skinned, Nene's light-skinned, and then we got a Filipino.
Nate is
There-
everything.
Was that
That's
your point
my-
guard?
Yeah, this was our point guard.
my
So
best
everybody's
friend growing up.
confused until we get on this court. Like, yeah, okay.
And
right?
he's an absolute bulldog.
That's
man.
that's
Bulldog.
respect because for Filipinos, ball is life.
Man.
Oh, bro. Nate was one of my favorite dudes, and Baron Davis had so much Nate Marassi in him at 6'2", 6'3", with bounce.
Bounce.
So that was when he was in high school.
When he was in high school. So that's how we met each other. We became boys, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, we go into the recruiting. You know, you got it was like 5 schools you could go visit, blah, blah, blah. So I already knew UCLA was on one. And me and Barron got so tight that he was like, bro, just come down. Take your parents with me. Like literally, just stay in the dorms, see how it is, blah, blah, blah. So high school, I was going down my junior year to hang out with Barron just to get the vibe. And UCLA was all it was cracked up to be. Let me just start there.
What
It
would
was
you
all
do
it was cracked up to
at
be.
17 years old, just going to hang out?
I'm tripped out right now. Just listening to the story.
So
Was Barron a freshman at that time?
Barron was a freshman, and this was, I think he still had his good knee because he hadn't even gotten hurt yet. He got hurt later on in the season in the Duke game off of the dunk. I still remember it. He came down weird.
I could see it now.
Yeah. So the point was, going to UCLA, I had never seen professionals. Now in Oakland, we got ballers and blah blah blah. But Gary Payton's not coming back to Oakland. Jason Kidd ain't coming back to Oakland. Brian Shaw was probably the person that I saw the most still coming back to Oakland. He trained me in the summers. And I'll tell you another one that you probably didn't know who used to also train me, Phil Handy.
Really?
Phil Handy was a hooper then. So he was still playing overseas. So I would go work out with him at Club One.
Yeah.
So
Club One.
so that's how crazy this small world of it is. But back to UCLA, the point being was, I hadn't seen a professional. I didn't know what that looked like. I didn't know how they trained. And though I played a lot of basketball, it wasn't until I got to the next level, it was like, okay, I got to button up on like my actual skill level in here and let me get my handle right. And like, I got a jumper, but I need to have 1-2 dribbles. I need to have a couple of fadeaways. I started kind of putting myself, just in a different mentality of studying what these other guys are doing. So imagine this. You're 17 years old. You go down to UCLA. You see Shaq, Kobe, Reggie Miller, Antoine Jameson. No, not Antoine Jameson. Antoine All-Star Antoine with the
point
shake.
guard?
Walker.
Oh, yeah.
Antoine Walker.
with the shake. There you go.
Jerry Stackhouse. All the Lakers. Just put all the Lakers. Just put them in. Derek Fisher, Kobe, Shaq. Then you had like rookies, Kenyon Martin. Because everybody's agent is in LA. So at UCLA, they have this thing called a men's gym. There's going to be a documentary that comes out about that. Rico Hines.
Oh, yeah.
One of my other teammates. He took over that run. But before, Magic Johnson used to run the men's gym.
Damn.
Straight up.
That had to be intimidating a little bit.
Nah, but the way my ego was set up back then, it wasn't how I was supposed to be here, damn it, right? But I was enamored in the sense of like, I had never really studied a pro. And then that was the first time that I realized, I'm not quite a pro yet. I got some work to do. And those guys were the one that had raised me.
Yeah.
Mitchell Butler played at UCLA, NBA veteran. And what was Derek's last name? Why I can't think of it right now. PG. He played for SAC, lefty point guard.
Lefty point guard.
From UCLA. Derek Martin. Boom.
Oh, there you go.
Whoa. Yeah, Derek Martin.
Blast.
So all
Tyus Edney,
Tracy
too.
Murray, Tyus Edney. That's what I'm saying. They're in one. This is one gym, y'all. This ain't. You walk out the dorms, you go to the middle of campus, and it's the men's gym, and you're like, what in the hell is going on? So that was my first time seeing that. So that's what sold me to UCLA off the rip, and not to even say that was the best basketball choice. Honestly, it wasn't.
Yeah, dude. Who else were you considering, man?
Well, the right basketball choice was Arizona.
Arizona.
I
should have went.
Matt Fahey's in the house.
No,
he was at Arizona.
Yeah, that's true. That was actually the right basketball decision, and I'm wise enough to share that now with like no shame of like, I definitely made a bad basketball decision.
Yeah.
If I had a child or somebody else's child, I now know the mindset of like, no, this is actually a good quote unquote basketball or sports decision. And I had already come from a legacy coach with Coach Laporte, right? Old school. Coach used to box. He was probably with the Italian mafia on the low. Hey, Coach Laporte used to take us to these restaurants. I'm like, how you know these people? But he was a boxer, strong, tough dude. And looking back, which I also see the disconnect at UCLA, I had a young, charismatic coach in Steve Lavin, but I came from legacy. So this isn't gonna match, right?
Yeah.
Just in terms of like coaching mindset, it didn't necessarily match. Also, Lavin was 35. Yeah. What the hell does he know what to do with 5 or 6 McDonald's All-Americans?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No shade to him now.
Yeah.
He's grown and doing well in San Diego, but I'm saying a 35-year-old Lavin, like I had no business being there. I should have went right with the legacy coach, right? And then I would have been
who already had a legacy.
Who already had a legacy.
Yeah.
Already proven. And proven with guards, more importantly.
Yep.
So that was the first one. The second basketball answer in real life was Stanford.
Ooh, man.
Stanford, I don't even think to this day it still had a player like me. That was in terms of athleticism, in terms of flair, in terms of what they can do. So they would have had no choice. Like essentially, they would have had no choice but to play me, and I would have been able to make my mistakes, and I would have been able to probably start all 4 years, because at UCLA it was like, it was more work. And obviously with Lavin's, I'm not going to say it's all Lavin, because obviously I'm also man enough to say, hey, I wasn't mature enough to handle that right then. And I'll stand on that. Hey, I wasn't good enough. I didn't have my mind right quite yet. By the time I had my mind right was probably going into my junior year, once I kind of saw the lay of the land. But the right basketball answer was Arizona, legacy coach, Stanford, legacy coach, Mike Montgomery. Mike Montgomery was my second to last coach when I was with the Warriors.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That's crazy. And I got to stop it here just to even ask the people in the room here. Can you imagine seeing Ray Young play on that bouncy ass floor at Stanford?
Come on, bro.
Even I had crazy bounce there. That's the
Come on.
bounciest floor. This dude would have been jumping out the rafters in there, man. I couldn't even imagine that.
So that's why I say it's like, hey, I had to learn how to dissect like what's the best basketball move or the best move for your career. Now, also one thing that I will talk about too is like, hey, in all honesty, my parents were always afraid of basketball. So they were like, hey, you need to get an education if something happens, which is all great advice.
Of course.
Let's be honest. And from where my parents came from, which was Mississippi and Bakersfield, my dad's from the real country in the South, and my mom's pretty much from the California country of Bakersfield, right? So, they came up by having good jobs, right? So they wanted to make sure that, hey, I got my education, all that sort of stuff. But now looking back, and no shade to my parents, because they are, I couldn't ask for better.
Of course.
Amazing. But that's technically wrong advice.
Yeah.
Right? So I still had UCLA in the thought of, not only can I play basketball at the highest level, but I can also get a good education. And essentially, that wouldn't be my advice to my child or anybody, even Nene's. It's like, nah, if your child is special enough to have a gift in one particular field, whether that's basketball, whether that's anything quote unquote creative, right? Because I go like it's still creative, it's still technically entertainment. I go like, nah, you go 10 toes down. Yeah. Education don't matter. And I'll tell you another story of why I even say that. Derek Martin, this is one of the wildest stories. Not wild in the sense of like, oh, it was crazy, but it was eye-opening for me as a youngster. And this happened my freshman year at UCLA. So as I told you all the people that come to the gym every single day, Shaqs, the Kobe's, there's 30, 40 NBA players in here. We got 3 courts, just so you guys know, right? The middle courts.
I just want to be there.
Yeah, right.
Just to watch.
The middle court is basically owned by Magic. So let's be clear. Magic is not getting off it. Like, you got to beat Magic like 10-2 for him to get off the court, because otherwise he's going to cheat to stay on this court. And everybody knows what it is. Yeah. And I always tell people, it's like, oh, well, why you didn't say nothing to Magic? It's Magic. What the hell? What the hell am I like? What am I gonna say to Magic?
That was like literally documented too in the documentary that they had that came out.
Yeah. What am I gonna say to Magic? It's his ball. Damn it, it's his ball. Shit. All right, right. So there's these 3 courts going on, and I come in the gym, and I had missed the day before. Okay. So Derek Martin comes up to me and goes, bro, where were you at yesterday? And I go, super casually. Yeah. So just not even, D, man, I had class yesterday. Had to finish something up, but I'm good, blah, blah, blah. And he looked at me so crazy. Wow. So like confused, and was like, you had what? You had class? And I was like, yeah, man, I had class. Yeah. Couldn't make it. They got the hours and da 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 da. He said, Ray, how did you get to UCLA? I was like, how I got here. I'm on a hoop scholarship. What do you mean? Yeah. And he said, so you're telling me basketball got you here? Absolutely. Like, dude, what you talking about? He said, so they didn't give you an academic scholarship, did they? Nah, D. What, like, I don't know where he's going with this. Yeah. He goes, Ray, if I ever hear you miss a day ever again because of class, I'm going to whoop your ass personally. Damn. Crazy. He said, there are 40 NBA players in here, and you're going to class?
Man.
I mean,
Man.
And I remember sitting there, and these are just one of the things, like, as a freshman, you just got to sit there and just, like, damn. Like, you know what I mean? And nobody gave it to me that raw. And that forever changed my mindset at UCLA. And that was my freshman year. So shout out to Derek Martin, because that was one of the realest things ever. He was just like, you got 40 NBA players in here and you going to class?
Crazy.
He was like, how does it? He was like, bro, I'm gonna whoop your ass personally if I ever hear it. I said,
I love it.
I said, say less, bro.
Man, you're around greatness down there, man.
That was a much better class for you to be in.
Much better. And to give like context, it's like, looking back, how many teams had a whole starting five and a bench go to the NBA?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
y'all are pumping them out.
Dan Gazaric. Mm-hmm. You remember Big Dan? Big Dan, right? He was 6'11", but wore a size 13.
What?
Okay, so his feet, he I mean, he
13s, man.
He could guard a guard if he wanted to, and he was ridiculously fast and retardedly athletic. Okay.
Yeah.
Jerome Moiso, which nobody really knew about, he was from overseas. Our coach had found him. He was a lefty that, if he actually liked basketball, he would have been on Kevin Garnett level. He was another 6'11", can dribble, can shoot, can bring the ball up the court, no problem. I mean, and he would have games. I mean, I don't feel it today. Just don't pass me the ball.
He just said,
man, hey, I would run, whatever our 4 down or 4 up, whatever the hell it was. I'm going right to him. I ain't trying to hear none of that. He was a pro. I mean, we knew he was a pro from the gate. So you got our two big fellas pros.
Yep.
Then Jerron Rush. Okay.
Yep.
Let's talk about it. Now, Jerron Rush was 6'7". I mean, boy. I mean, like, I'm not going to say Vince Carter athletic. It was more of a destructive athletic. Like every dunk was like he was mad and he would run so fast and just pop off the ground like a gazelle. I mean, just boing. He was one of the most athletic people I've ever been around. I mean, he probably got 8 points a game just off of like tips. His second jump, crazy. There were some life circumstances of why he didn't make it to the pros, but in my eyes, I mean, legend.
Yes.
So then you had me, and though I wasn't a long pro, I definitely still got my Golden State jersey.
Yep.
Right? They had to give me that. And then let's see, Earl Watson. Okay.
Man, Earl Watson.
Right? Super solid, 13-year NBA vet, rarely made any mistakes. Would guard you, 94 feet. Just tough. Just a tough dude. So that was our starting five. Then we had the youngsters that ended up coming the year after me. We got Ryan Hollins, who ended up playing in the league for almost 10 years, 7-footer. True story. Ryan Hollins used to dunk off of 2 feet from the free throw line.
What? No, come on, man.
No cap. I'll FaceTime him right now.
Man,
it's true.
2 feet? I literally have never seen it before in my life.
Was
off of 2 feet?
Off of 2 feet, because Ryan Hollins, come to find out, ran track in high school. Had no clue. So he was already high jumping and long jumping a long time ago. We didn't know that. So he used to come in the gym, and at practice, you see certain damn, did he get that? It's like he was just getting up higher than everybody. And I remember after practice, it was like, dude, where are you jumping from? Because mind you, he's 7 feet. He's long. I think he has like a 7'4", 7'5" wingspan. I mean, he's a big boy. Man, this dude was taking off from the free throw line.
Man.
Now, I'll give you another one. Who else we had on our team? Rico Hines.
Yep.
Who never played. Never played, but is now arguably the best player development person
period
in the NBA.
Yes.
So Rico Hines was the one who started working me out.
Wow.
Listen, there's not enough I could say from my seat.
Yeah.
There's other people like Barron. There's other people like Ricky Davis. Even Jelani McCoy. I mean, Rico made so many people better on the low, and this was our teammate.
Man.
Then I'll give you another one. This is the group. I had another dude on the bench named Todd Ramazar. Todd Ramazar ends up being all of our agents.
Damn.
So he would have been you.
Damn.
That's what I took. Dude, Todd Ramazar reminded me so much of you because he was a good hooper, but he was hella smart. Always getting, outstanding grades. Never,
awesome.
Never had to worry about it. So Todd
UCLA,
Ramazar ended up being an agent. So I go like, dude, that would have been your spot for sure, right? Then we had Dejon Thompson. He played for the Suns for a couple of years. We had Cedric Bozeman. I think he played for the Hawks for a little bit.
It's all ID, man.
So, and I don't want to. Let me also give shout out to Michael Fay. Mike Fay was from Seattle, and he came down 6'10", 6'11", soft touch. He didn't play probably as much as he should at UCLA because, obviously you're playing behind Dan Gazaric and some other big boys. But he ended up playing overseas. I just saw him at a UCLA practice a couple months ago. He just stopped playing last year.
Wow.
Last year. Yeah. That's how. So the 17 years I took off, he was still floating around Europe and getting the bag. So we had.
And you're talking about your sophomore. Is this your sophomore year? You're naming off the people because what's our boy from Artesia? Huh?
Oh, I forgot it. How the hell I forget about Capono? Oh my God.
Jason Capono's on his team.
Yeah.
I was like, man.
Arguably one of the coldest shooters I've ever seen in life.
Bad white boy, man.
Jason Capono was an unathletic, 6'7", 6'8", Italian. He had an Italian body too.
Yeah.
He had a lot, he probably ate a lot of spaghetti. But boy.
The boy could play, man.
Not only could he play, I didn't realize how crazy his footwork was, of how he used his footwork to get his shots open. I definitely stole some stuff from Capono, but he was also somebody that I looked at because I knew he was going to be a pro because he had seen it. And that was one of the things I always said about the Southern California kids. They had one up on everybody because there's pros everywhere. You got somebody to model. We didn't have really anybody to model in Oakland. We were just, willing and dealing and trying to do the best we can. But Capono was one of those dudes, starting from his freshman year, he had a pro work ethic.
Yeah,
I had to get mine actually above his because I realized I'm behind. Right? It's like, though I was a McDonald's All-American, though I had a lot of hype out of high school, by the time I got to college and, the ups and downs of UCLA, it was like, okay, I got to get so much better to where there's just no question. And Capono was a blueprint. He allowed me to come work out with him at St. Monica's in Santa Monica. And with his trainer, this is how crazy this is, his trainer is the old GM of the Blazers, Neil O'Shea. This was our trainer, the GM.
This was a trainer that he had when he was playing college ball?
He had this trainer in high school.
Oh my goodness!
So he's from LA.
Oh yeah, he's from
Artesia, and he's not from Long Beach. I think he's from Bellflower, a little city outside of Long Beach. But it's still LA County. Even though that in their eyes, just so you guys understand how the dynamics, nobody in Long Beach, though it's in LA, wants to be from LA. They're Long Beach. They're a whole set of individuals, even though it's still LA. If that makes sense.
No, I get it.
So that's where he was from. And now looking back at the connections, his future agent, that was the workout guy, Neil O'Shea. Yeah. So that's how I met Joe Johnson, right? We were talking about him in yoga. That's how I met Kobe for the first time, was at that workout. I don't know if you guys remember this dude, what's his name? Flip. He played for Atlanta for a while. One of the coldest point guards ever. But all these dudes, that's what I'm trying to tell you. All of this was all from the UCLA connect. So that's why I go like, I could say it was the wrong basketball decision, but it was absolutely the right life decision.
You talked about networking, and I'm just like listening to all of this.
And then I got the luckiest roommate in the world. Matt Barnes ends up, creating all the smoke and doing what he does with Stack Jack. So yeah, that's why I say that the network of UCLA was absolutely the
Insane.
right life
Insane.
decision,
I mean,
all
it's
the way.
crazy what he's named. And I will say, from the outside looking in as well, man, I think I might have even texted you. You got so many texts. I'm sure I don't even remember if you replied, but I know I seen a game and you were picking up. So he was playing the 3-man, but he was down low a lot.
Yep.
When we're playing together, he's picking up the point guard the whole way, all game. I had never seen you play so hard in my life.
You know why?
Why?
I wasn't playing as much as I thought I should.
Yep.
So what happened was, this is what I would tell anybody. You want to keep your ass on the court, play some D.
That's
can't take you off.
It's crazy.
So I learned how to pick up full court from Earl.
Yep.
I watched how he used to, guard, like take the angles away. And essentially, because I was so athletic, right, I could just keep up. So
I was amazed watching it.
Yeah,
man.
that became like a staple of mine. And ironically, I tell people, I was like, yo, I did not. I mean, I'm not proud to say this, but I was like, yo, I didn't really play no D in high school. Right? I did.
So let me go. They will tell you. Let me go back to the text message that I said you didn't reply to. If you would have played defense like that, we would have had 4 state championships.
Easy.
I literally said that.
Hey,
That's
easy.
funny.
And he's not lying, because
nobody could mess with. If you were playing that hard, ain't nobody messing with you.
And that's where the modeling of success comes.
Yep.
From, which I didn't see. And that's not
because you
anybody's
can roll
fault
out
with
there
mine.
and you was still so elite. It didn't matter. He was that damn good. You know.
And it wasn't till I wasn't playing where I was like, all right, yeah, okay, all right. So then I'll get him. Whoever was on fire, whoever was, nope, I got him. If the point, nope, I'll pick him up full court. It's all good. And I actually know who you're talking about. That was the Louisville game against Cameron Murray. That was the first time that I was like,
man,
okay, let me.
He had that
and
golden hair. He was playing defense.
That was a national TV game. So yeah. So yep, and I had blonde hair.
Hey, the blonde hair looked tough.
But hey, that was definitely a tribute to Oakland.
Yes, sir.
Everybody in Oakland, you know how the locks are the new thing now, and or the curly thing. Nah, we had blonde hair in the team.
Let's go.
That was where that came from. So that's why I started playing D. I wasn't on the floor like I thought I should, and hell.
Amazing. It's cool seeing that from the outside in, the maturation process and just seeing you out there and reaching your potential. We always knew that you were going to make it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like you had everything in the bag. You just needed to be around greatness, and that's what it was down there.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm man enough to say, dude, I just needed guidance. I hadn't seen, I was just so used to, like I said, just running around playing all the time, right? I thought that was, kind of the way. And then when I got there, I realized like pros like move different. They work out different. They're getting more reps up. And then I'll tell you a normal day, just so if there's any kids or parents watching where you kind of want to get a barometer of like how serious your kid is taking basketball. So this was a regular day, and this is absolutely no cap. So the day would normally begin with Rico blowing up my two-way. Let's get up.
Two-way?
Remember the two-way? Yeah, they used to call me two-way Ray. That was
Those were dope in college.
Another legendary story. So so he would blow my two-way up. We would meet at the track at 8:00. We would run 1 to 3 miles depending on what the day looked like. So you get a mile or two in. Then I go straight from the UCLA track to now I'm working out with Baron Davis. Okay, so
Was Baron still at UCLA?
Yeah. Well, yes. Well, Baron left after my freshman year, so he came back every summer. So every summer I worked out with Baron. That's actually also how I got really good at defense.
Yeah.
Just like
playing him all
it's
the
like,
time.
yo, if I'm playing him every day, there's nobody else. Like I'm not worried about anybody else. I guard Baron literally 5 straight summers.
Yeah.
Like literally 5 straight summers.
Crazy.
Right? So so then it's me, Barron. I'll give you another one, Trevor Ariza.
Trevor Reason.
Okay,
Wow.
Trevor Ariza was when I was leaving UCLA. Trevor was coming in, and mind you, Todd Ramazar was all of our agents, right? So we all worked out at UCLA. As soon as that run was over, we go right to the gym. Now we're in there from, let's say, 9 to about 11. Okay? One-on-ones full court. We're doing full court shooting drills. We're playing 2-on-2s.
Yep.
Ricky Davis, Jelani McCoy would be in there. The rest of our UCLA family. So, it was always like 3 to 5 of us, right? So you do that for 2 hours. Then that's our break. Okay, cool. Got the first half of the day done, right? Now we go to California Pizza Kitchen, right? Get chicken, salad, gear back up, right? Then we had this dude, what was his name? He was, man, it's gonna come to me, but we had this workout dude that was legendary. He was down the street in Westwood, and he would put you through the hardest hour of weights ever. So it wasn't we're gonna lift and look cute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get the guns up. No, dude. Like, I mean, he would do stuff like that. He would go like, all right, we're gonna do leg press. He was like, how much you weigh? I was like, at that time I was like 215, 220 or whatever. He's like, all right, cool, we're gonna do 250. He's like, we're gonna do it 100 times. Bro, I'm not like, you know what I mean? So it was like he would do stuff where you'd be like and you got to check yourself too, because you're like, all right, I don't want to be that guy, but damn, 100. And I can't tell you how many people he had NBA players throw up.
Yeah,
he was also connected. What was the agent? Actually, I'll give you another story. Bob Myers worked for this agent. Arn Tellem. That's who it was.
Oh, yeah.
This was all the Arn Tellem arm, right? So he had a lot of the UCLA guys, even though we were all with Todd, we used to go, TP, that was his name. Yes, TP. We used to go to TP, and when I tell you, I've seen Jermaine O'Neal, I've seen Paul, I've seen real NBA cats throw up off of his workouts.
God, that's crazy.
And this is just weights, okay? So this is just weights.
Not even cardio.
No, we have it. You don't even run. You don't do.
You've already ran.
You already ran. Yeah, I'm like, we're not running nothing. This is just to get your body right, and more importantly, your mind.
Yeah.
So now you just got killed by him. Okay, you might have thrown up before, depending on what your night was. I've seen it happen plenty of times. I think I was in there when Toby Bailey. So you go from that to now you get another rest, right? So it's like, all right, you need a rest after that. Then the runs start 3 o'clock, baby. Now you're going to the men's gym and playing with all the other greats. And then once that's over, you got to stay with Rico. You got to make 100 shots before you leave the gym. And that was my quote unquote normal day in the summer. So I stopped going to summer school. I still graduated, right?
Yeah.
But I stopped going to summer school because I saw that the pros, the pros are spending all this time. I got to spend as much time as they spend, right? Like if Barron's going to the gym, I'm going to the gym. Oh, y'all going to play? I'm going to play. So that was a normal day, but I didn't learn that, like I said, until I got to UCLA and was around all of this greatness to where I could pick up stuff. So, I mean, just as a life lesson and as I've gotten older, I just realized like, nah, I mean, you see I pull up with big money, Mas. Come on, baby. I got to keep my network tight and also you, Mas, other people that inspire me.
Yeah.
Right. Because I know, you're able to pull something. You're able to watch it,
always
and learn.
Learning.
And so because I'm so curious, I've kind of used that to my advantage of like, I just need to keep good people around, smarter people than me. I don't want to be the smartest in the room. I will never brag that I am. However, what I will brag about, I know who could figure it out.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I trust me. I got somebody for that. Yeah.
I love it.
Right. So that's where that mentality came from. Just hanging and staying around What they say, success leaves clues.
Yep. Yeah.
It's real.
What an amazing.
Going back to the Rico story, so because he's a development coach now.
He's technically second assistant.
Raptors?
Let me give Rico his props. So first of all, from a basketball standpoint, Rico has been a player development. Now he's the second chair.
Oh.
So yeah. So if you look on the Philadelphia bench, Rico is, I think, the second coach in line.
Really?
Because after he left Toronto, where he was still head of player development, Coach Nurse was like, nah, you need to sit next to me now.
Wow.
So now Rico is literally one step away from being a head coach, which I know was always his dream. And the cool thing is, I don't even think Rico even cares about being a head coach like that. He likes the grind. And Rico Hines, shout out to him. I mean, he was the first one that taught me how to grind. Like he literally taught me. Like no cap. I don't have an ego about it. He taught me and I listened. And because of Rico Hines, I put probably my last 12 to 15 games at UCLA, my senior year, with anybody's. Barron's, anybody's.
Yes.
And that was all from the work of Rico Hines. And at that time, I was playing point guard, probably averaged a little less than 20 points.
You finished with a bang. You finished with a bang, man.
I mean, listen, like I said, I'll put my senior year up against anybody's at UCLA.
That's incredible.
I was cooking.
You guys had Rico on the All the Smoke show recently, or am I?
No, we haven't had Rico on the show yet. We will.
Okay.
We definitely got to give Rico his flowers. I mean,
Man.
all day. But that's who taught me how to work.
That's crazy.
True story.
That's crazy. And I want to UCLA that run and everything, man. What an amazing way that shaped your entire future.
Yeah.
But basketball, obviously, you continued to play after that point. But you alluded to a very crazy near-death experience. I've heard it from many people. I've never heard it directly from you. He's never heard it as well.
Got it.
Give us a rundown of that day.
Yep. So first of all, just so we're clear, I don't remember the day. So everything that I'm telling you is from Matt Barnes, from the people, Adrian McCullough, the people that are actually there.
Dang, I still didn't even know that you don't remember any part of that day.
No. Not only do I not remember that day, I probably don't remember the month. So when you wake up, they ask you, and the last thing I remember was like putting up some signs or something, and my girlfriend at the time was like, that was like 3-4 weeks ago.
Dang.
Like, wow. Well, that's all I got.
Dang.
So long story short, with what I was told happened, normal day, right? Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, when I lived in the Bay, I played at Jamtown.
Soldier Town now?
Soldier Town now, yep. And what happened, so still playing with Adrian.
Yep.
Right? And we had like a ton of local legends. Also, Bob Myers used to come through. And Matt at the time, I want to say, had gotten cut by the Kings.
Okay.
And he was still in, no, I'm sorry. No, he had already won with the Warriors.
Okay.
He
that was
already
when he
had
was
a
down
ring.
with the Warriors. Okay.
And I was just like, yo, bro, come run. Still, still stay in shape.
No doubt.
Right. Pull up. So he did. And I guess what happened was they told me I was cooking. Right. So I was like, well, that was good. And I said, so where did it go left? and they were like, they said, well, you were cooking. And then they said, they passed me the ball and I didn't shoot it. So they knew something was wrong. Right? So they was like, it was like, Adrian was like, yeah, man, you was cooking and then we gave you the ball and you didn't shoot. So I knew something was wrong, right? I knew something was wrong.
My.
And then he said, then they were like, I just stood there like frozen. So they said I got the ball and I stood there frozen. And they said the next thing you know, they said I just tipped over. And I still got a scar like on my my shoulder. And I guess I had hit they had bleachers or whatever. So thank God my head didn't hit the bleachers. And they said I tipped over holding the ball. And they said by the time everybody had got down there, I was already blue. So they didn't know what the hell was going on. So what happened, I'll tell you, who helped save me?
Who?
Javon Harris.
I did hear that.
Shout out to JV, El Cerrito,
Wow.
even though they jumped us. You remember that?
I remember that.
Remember that
Oh, we
story?
could, we
Yeah,
could
that
go
was
to
the
that
light
one
skin. I
too,
told you
man.
that.
Damn, they jumped you guys?
Oh, it was
bro,
crazy.
That's why I tried to tell you, dude. People were not trying to lose the two light-skinned brothers.
Hey.
It just hurt
The
their
biggest
soul.
riot I've
It
ever been a
just-
part of. That shit was crazy.
But anyway, JV literally, resuscitated me enough because I wasn't resuscitated.
Yeah.
Okay. So he resuscitated me enough. They called the ambulance. And that's why I was like, man, there was a whole bunch of stuff that had that line to where I knew, like, okay, not only like I'm supposed to be here, right?
Mhm.
The firefighter that came, the first one to respond, you remember my friend Nick Humphrey?
Oh, yeah.
It was his first cousin.
Oh, my goodness.
Charles Lightfoot was the first one. He realized it was me. He called they had, California now has this like automatic defibrillator
Okay.
thing where actually they can strap you in and nobody has to
Okay.
press you or do all that. They actually have a machine.
Wow.
At that time, back in 2017, there were only 3 machines in all of California, and luckily they had one.
In all of California?
In all of California.
That's
This is
incredible.
according to Charles. He was like, bro, you know that machine, like it's only like 3 or 4 of those like in Cali. We just happened to have one, and I had to call them to bring that because you were still, blue and purple. And long story short, I guess the machine, like I said, once again, it resuscitated me enough to get to the hospital, but I was out. So long story short, I'm in a coma and for 3 days. So I get, and this is the wildest, I get out of the coma 3 days later. And mind you, this is just like taking a nap. That's why I always tell people, I was like, hey, my experience, I didn't see Jesus or Buddha or any of the big guys, but I was like, it was peaceful. And thank God it was, because when I woke up, it was like nap. But you got all of this stuff on you. It was really like, how you see those movies where somebody gets saved from they fell out of a ship, and then next thing you know, they wake up in the hospital and you go crazy and you're like ripping stuff off, trying to, hey. That's exactly what I did. Freaked out. And I never cussed around my parents. Okay? Never. My mom goes, you just kept saying, what the fuck? What the fuck? I just, that I didn't know what the hell was going on. And then when you wake up, your brain's in a mush. So it's like almost being asleep for too long, and then it's like too much stuff comes in, and you can't, I can't comprehend what you're saying, even though I hear you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you're in this weird fishbowl, and mind you, I can't even explain it to you that this is happening. I'm just scared shitless. Like, is this going to be the rest of my life? Because what people don't know, I had a GoFundMe up because from what my heart situation was, they said straight up, 5%.
That is.
Hey.
Wow.
Told my parents, told my girl at the time, hey, he has a 5% chance. I would prepare because, he's been in the coma for 3 days. And even if he does wake up, who knows if his facilities are going to work, if, his talk could be slurred or,
How old were you then? How long ago was this now?
I was 37.
37.
September 27th.
Great, incredible shape.
Oh yeah,
Playing the
I think I was
game he
a
loves.
Yeah, I want to say I was a vegetarian or vegan at the time, which also super confused me. Right? I'm like,
man,
why the hell am I this healthy and this is still happening? So I had some bacon as soon as I got up.
I bet.
I hadn't had bacon in almost 20 years. And I was like, hell no, if I'm about
no
to die.
more Muslim for you.
You're right. Hey. So I wake up, but my brain is in mush. I'm super emotional because I can't explain. Like, I can hear you,
But the words weren't.
It wasn't that the words, it was like I couldn't even remember what I was supposed to respond to.
Yeah.
So it would come in and then it was just gone. So I realized the first day or so, I would only say one word, yeah. Or okay. but I couldn't string anything together because not only would I would forget what the hell we were even talking about 5 seconds ago. So when I say my brain was like, I was so definitely afraid. That's the only thing that like got me emotional, like how afraid I was. Like, dude, I hope my life just didn't like go to this, right?
Yeah.
So long story short, towards the end of the day, I'm like, okay, like at least I'm hearing and retaining a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So by the second day, I'm like, okay, cool. It's getting there. I'm not as afraid. I still can't give you like a long sentence or any explanation or go into like too many memories. But I felt like, felt good. And unfortunately, the day that I feel like I get all of my capacities back, which was probably like the night of the second day after taking some naps and stuff. One of my, I don't know if you remember my boy Aaron Clark. He ended up, he was dealing with some mental health issues, and he ended up committing murder. And Adrian had to come in there and tell me.
Dang.
Yep. So it was just like, it was the wildest recovery ever, because it was like, not only am I definitely afraid of like, dude, and like, can I like retain information? Can I speak for longer than, 3 to 5 seconds? And then, one of my best friends, who I knew had been struggling with mental health, now is dealing with this. So that was tough.
Wow.
And then just to find out what had happened, they didn't know what happened. They couldn't tell me.
Yeah.
They were like, you don't have any clogs.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's what I was going to ask you.
No.
What is wrong? They haven't told you? They couldn't figure it out?
So they called it long QT syndrome, which essentially means the way my heart beats, it goes boo boo, it goes long, boo boo. Well, whatever that is, that little long part, mine is a little bit more extended than most, and they were explaining to me sometimes it could just run away. And for whatever reason, my electricity just had stopped. No rhyme, no reason.
That is
Like
scary.
literally the electricity stopped.
My God.
So I was like, okay. So I said, well, how do I move forward? Like,
Yeah.
Like, what's next?
Yeah, like what does that mean? Like, and they were like, well, essentially, you can, just ride this out, right? Like,
That's a
anything,
scary
right? Yeah,
answer.
wait,
the next step.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, ride this out. I'm like, dude, I just died. What do you do? Ride what out? I need answers, right? Like,
serious.
So essentially, they were like, or they said, you can get a defib.
Yeah.
So a defibrillator is essentially,
Yep.
I have it, in my chest. It's
Yep.
like a little boob. That's what it felt like the first couple of months. I always tell people, I was like, man. But they put a defib in because they were just like, well, hey, look, it was only electrical. So there's nothing, we don't see anything structurally wrong. Your heart looks healthier than all of ours. We don't, this is Stanford Medical now.
Yeah.
Like, they had no answers. So I said, hey, let's just put the defib in.
Yeah.
I said, because I
Just to make sure. Heck yeah.
I don't want to go through
Yeah.
this again. So they did. They put a defibrillator, and I haven't had a problem since. 30 days later, I was back playing basketball.
Okay.
30 days, right? Which now looking back wasn't the brightest thing to do. And let me tell you why it wasn't that bright. It wasn't that bright because I partially tore my Achilles. First day back. Can't make this up.
So when I blew mine, it wasn't long after I had a bunch of medicine for an issue with my stomach. I think medicines end up making some of your tendons tighter. So that's when I completely tore mine.
Yes. So boom. Partially tear my partially tear my Achilles, and it was fun. I was playing against Klay Thompson's brother. So because I knew I had to go right back to it.
Of course. Get back on the horse. I get you.
We're not doing this scaredy cat thing. Hey, I got right back on the horse. Partially tore my Achilles, which was good because I'm sure the universe was telling me, dude, let's just chill out for a little bit.
Yep.
Like regroup, and I did. That's where my Bikram yoga practice saved me.
Yes.
I got back on the court 6 months later, and my doctor still said I've never seen that type of recovery.
No, it took me a full year.
Woo!
And
but you had a full tear.
Yeah, I tore it. It snapped. People across the gym heard it. So I was playing in West Sac Old Man Basketball League and everything. I had a buddy up from SoCal. I'm not even sure if she was my wife at the time. I kind of can't put the years together. My now wife was there. They heard it across the gym. My kids were there. I had to act like no one was wrong. Jumped out of there. And, it was crazy.
Act like nothing wrong. Listen,
like
when
not having freak out is what I'm saying.
Oh, when I stood up, I had never felt that kind of pain ever.
That's crazy.
Do you remember when,
yes?
Because I assume you were on the ground like I was. First of all, I was looking back and nobody was there.
That's the same thing.
That was the first
same
key
thing.
of like,
oh man, yeah. Who kicked me?
Oh,
who kicked
That's
me?
exactly. And you remember when we were kids and used to mess with your mom or dad or sister or brother, and used to ram the cart in the back of their heel.
Oh yeah, that's the way it felt.
It's exactly how it felt.
Oh my goodness!
But I look back, and wasn't nobody there.
Yeah.
So I knew, and this was probably a year or two after Kobe had did his. So I was like, did I just do the Kobe? I'm like, oh, bro.
Man.
I remember I stood up, and I never have felt that because all the blood now rushed down there, but I didn't have no kick.
Yeah.
It was a dead foot. I mean, I was trying, and you know how like your brain is moving, but I'm like, nothing. And I was just like, oh. So, unfortunately, it sat me down for a little bit, but I got back 6 months later. I still remember the first run that I did was Jay Valentine used to have a run in LA.
Yeah.
And it was Tank's birthday. And my first run back, we played at the Staples Center.
That's crazy.
Hey, let's say the stuff that be going down to LA, you're like, bro, y'all rented the Staples Center, bro, for Tank's birthday just so we can have an open run. No,
that's crazy.
Stilo Brim, I forgot the one rapper. He was actually pretty good. But yeah, dude, I mean, a whole bunch of people that you've definitely seen on TV came down for Tank's birthday.
What is this? You was talking about the game on you watching the game talk about Ray Young. Was that same one? Do you remember? Do you even know which one?
I was on your Instagram, and the game was saying how he played some game with you, and you dropped like 42.
So I remember seeing that.
So that was at I know what that was. That was at Dominguez.
Oh really?
That was at
the high school?
Dominguez
No, Dominguez College.
Okay.
Remember the JC down there?
Yeah.
Dominguez Hills.
Dominguez Hills, right?
Yeah, Dominguez Hills JC used to always have a big tourney, and that was the first time I had met Game. And yeah, that was true. I mean,
he's banging for you on all the smoke. He's like, y'all don't know about Ray Young. He's the coldest dude in here.
Oh, dude. And that was because I knew, right? I was so happy just to be going down to LA. It was like, you couldn't. You had to represent for the Yay area and the town. Straight up.
What he specifically said was this man walked in with the blonde hair, the beautiful eyes. The Game had a couple women with him at the time, and they were saying, "Who's that guy over there?"
The perks are real. Okay. we'll leave it there. We gotta keep this PG-13. The perks are real. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I mean, and once again, those were one of the things that another crazy LA story.
Yeah.
I was a part of Game's quote unquote promotional team when he was coming up with G Unit. Can't make this up. Because what happened was, let me tell you what happened. True story. Barron was friends with this dude, D-Mac, who was essentially a big time music exec, also very known in the streets, obviously. And he was telling us about this dude, Game. Oh man, y'all got to hear my boy Game. He's going to be the next, this, that, and the third. And this is literally like 98, 99, right? So this is when everybody's still wearing jerseys and throwbacks and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Game, who's this Game? And, I heard a mixtape or a CD at the time. And I was like, dang, he's, killing it. So D-Mac brings Game. He brings him to, it wasn't one of our games. We were at a party. He was like, oh yeah, my artist is about to come up. And I knew him as Jayceon.
Uh-huh.
It's Jayceon. I'm like, Game? Wait, what? He was like, yeah, it's my. I know this fool. He used to hoop. Like, what do you mean? So long story short, he loved us, and probably hell, me and Rico probably had these shirts. You remember the Got Milk shirts?
Yep.
Got Game.
Mm-hmm.
So that we wore that everywhere, and we loved him so much because he was a hooper where all of his, ad libs and things were all like hoop references, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we hadn't had somebody that we could like identify, like, oh, this had to be a hooper to come up with, these type of rhymes. So yeah, that's literally how I re-met Game, was from this dude, D-Mac. And like I said, if you look in Game's first album that Dre produced, you're gonna see Rico and Ray Yizzle.
No,
because we was damn near like his street hoop. We were his guys, because we were hooping at all the tournaments. We go to gym to gym. Got these games all the time.
You clowning when you show up with the light-skinned dude killing you on the court, man. You clowning, man.
But see, Game was light-skinned, so he didn't take it personal. You know what I'm saying? He knew the struggle back then. I said, dude, being light-skinned in the 90s and hooping, man, you had to go through some stuff.
That's hella funny.
That definitely is true story. And shout out to Game. I think he just came out with a new single the other day that I love. He got an old school beat to it. But he's one of the dudes that I can see anywhere in LA. Still shows love. Good dude. To me.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know what everybody else says. But, to me, he's always been 100. So that's how I re-met Game at UCLA. Didn't know it was Jayceon.
So what is? So I mean, obviously, legacy. You've talked a lot about legacy, just in regards to where you've come from. Where high school, UCLA, the amount of influencers that you've had around you, the networking. Mm-hmm. It just you've told your story, just the UCLA stuff. It literally sounds like a movie.
It does.
It is, and really is at this age that I'm finally like appreciating it, I think, the way that I should. And also now with media, you can capture times, and it's like, I would love to sit down with some of my teammates, and especially like the younger guys like Ryan Hollins and Dijon, and just get their perspectives. The old guys are good. Matt's good, Barron's good. Mm-hmm. Earl is now back home coaching. But just to get these guys, time and hear their stories, I was like, I'm definitely gonna do that. But it was a movie. I mean, I was like I said, I was like, where else on the planet can you go and see, Shaq and Kobe for free?
Yeah.
Right. See whoever's getting drafted because they're with, Dan. Like Dan Fagan had like Jelani McCoy. He had Kenyon Martin. I mean, he had a bunch of dudes, and the first stop was always men's gym. So I go like, dude, that is a movie. They're gonna come out with one. Rico Hines, is and Christina, who's another UCLA grad. She worked with Magic, was president of the Sparks, yada yada yada. They're coming out with a doc,
man.
Just so you guys can like visually see, like, how the hell a 17-year-old kid is gonna say no to this? Like, you know what I mean? It's
incredible.
Like, come on, hell no.
So how the talk to us about the connection with essentially how you got involved, what your title, your role is with the media, with all the smoke. How did it come about? How did you and I'm guessing Matt cross paths? How did all the smoke stuff come about? Could you just walk us through all that?
Well, I could tell you how all the smoke came about was literally like you guys were having your backyard conversations. Stack and Matt used to get on live. Remember when everybody was going on live during the right before the pandemic? Yeah, it was like a thing to be on live. It was like a new feature of IG, right?
Yep.
So they would go on live and shoot the shit. And it was funny because it was the normal shit that they're talking about. They're smoking, right? And they're like, oh man, you heard from, such and such, or, this is going on. They were literally just talking about current events. And Matt pitched that idea and somehow, some way got aligned with Showtime. Showtime had heard. Now, Showtime, why this was like the perfect alignment was because Showtime didn't really have any sports outside of boxing. They're not known for anything really outside of boxing, right? So they didn't have basketball. There was no Showtime basketball. So they're like, all right. And I'm not going to say that I don't think that they expected it to work, but they took a risk. It was like, let's see what happens. Yeah, we don't have any basketball. We want to try it. These guys are both polarizing, but people love them at the same time, right? And bada bing, bada boom. I remember in our group chat, he was like, "Man, we got this this podcast that me and Stack are about to do, and we got a guy from Showtime that says he's going to green light us." And we was like, "Cool." Like, now mind you, this is probably 2020, no, 19.
Okay.
Podcasting is now taken way more seriously than it was even 3 to 5 years ago. I mean, way more. It's different marketing. People have done so many different things with podcasts. Nobody was looking at it like that. It was literally people get to see Matt and Stack not only interact with each other, but now they can bring their homeboys. Now they can bring some of the We Believe. Now they can bring even some of the current Warriors that Matt played with, like Steph and KD and all these dudes, because now, Matt had built relationships with these guys. So the next thing you know, we go right into the, the COVID situation around the U.S. And, probably 3-4 months into it, just
it's so dope.
Shot to the moon that fast. And I think people just weren't expecting it. I don't think people saw it coming. And also they hadn't seen two basketball players sit down and have like serious but still fun conversations, right? Everything was either about basketball or about this or about that, where they kind of took the whole gamut of conversation and brought it right to you. But as I told you guys before, a lot of their secret sauce was, dude, you feel so comfortable coming on the set, right? Everybody, I'm there, Jelani McCoy is there, our barber is there, Razor Blade Champ, our other boy, Gene, who's one of our best friends, is there. So you see, like, there's family. There's like, yes, we have team, but you see family, and obviously people know me and Jelani from UCLA and basketball. So people just felt at home, and you could tell during the interview, because by the time they get on the couch, they're so relaxed. Not that we're asking them to tell us anything, but they just tell us, things that they had never said before. Matt and Stack made them feel so comfortable because, we're not trying to go viral. We're not trying to get you in trouble. We're not trying to do anything but show the other side, because they had got such a bad rap for being who they were and tough guys in the NBA, where they're like, dude, we're cool. Everybody knows it but the public.
Man.
So that was originally the start. There was no secret formula outside of Matt got connected with a guy at Showtime. It started just like you guys did. So that's why I say,
amazing.
You guys are doing the right thing.
So
right?
on the media side, what's your like role and everything?
So I would be like I'm essentially like a assistant producer, right? So what Matt did was smart, and I give all the props to Matt. This is what Matt did. Check this out. So he didn't do the LeBron. Obviously he's not LeBron, but what he did do for me, and which I still love him for, obviously, he said, hey, look, he told me all the places where people were getting paid, because I'd be on set anyway. Because mind you, like I said, nobody thought this was going to be like a thing, right? So I'd be on set anyway, and he was just like, hey, they do this, and I'm learning. I'd already been in production with with Barron. Barron essentially gave me my first production job working for Slick, his company, and he said, hey, look, I'm gonna get you on as a driver. He said, we got to pay these drivers. They drive him, they drive Stack. Showtime always had drivers for him. So he said, hey, look, I'm gonna put you in as a driver. That way, you can drive Stack when he comes in town, right? And he goes, I can keep you close to production so you can learn. So Matt essentially ended up allowing me to drive Stack around, right? I didn't even have a truck at the time. I would rent a truck, right? I would literally go on Toro, get a Cadillac truck.
This is
No, it's a true
crazy.
story. Can't make this up. And I'm proud to say it because I go like, yeah, no, I'm not the big time quote unquote producer quite yet, but I go, Matt put me in a position to learn, and Showtime paid me good money for that whole time. So literally, though I was driving Stack, I would still be on set learning from all their producers, like literally all of them.
so dope.
And then Jelani ended up getting hired on the Showtime squad too. So me and Jelani had did like plenty of media stuff before.
Yep.
So now I got my boy over there. I'm getting paid, and now I get to be on set and learn.
Yeah.
And Matt was really big on us coming in and learning because we knew this day would come, which is here now, where, hey, we got our own production studio, direct to us. I don't know if you guys know or have heard the news, but we left Showtime.
Yep.
Matt started All the Smoke Productions.
Yep.
Which is now connected to DraftKings. So now all the things that we learned with Showtime, right? Now the time is like finally come, right?
It's huge,
So,
man.
so
Big
shout out
ups
to
there,
Matt
man.
because, I mean, literally, he figured out a way for me to come on set, learn, get paid. And now that we've transitioned into our own situation, now, right?
how beautiful is life,
Right?
That's
I mean, come
great,
on.
man.
I mean, it's
like,
you're literally getting
who can be mad at that? Like,
you're getting to do what you love.
yep.
And now you're getting to work an entirely new muscle.
Yep.
And even in talking to you, the two things that I'm seeing is how same quality with Rene. And I'm not just saying this, just a lot of humility, right?
No doubt.
And wanting to learn something and just being around it and sponging it.
Yep.
To the point where then after you pay your dues, right?
Yep.
Then it turns into like, now I got my own thing.
turns into a thing. So that's been my story. And shout out to Matt because I go, a lot of people, or I've seen a lot of athletes put people in position who weren't ready, right? He didn't do that with any of our crew. He made sure, like I said, he got me on by literally driving Stack so I could get paid to stay on set, learn from all the other producers. Now some of them are obviously like really good friends. We still work with them. We brought some of them over with us, but now I know firsthand, right? Like I knew what all of this meant. As soon as I walked in here, right? It was like I
pointing them out.
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
pointing out. I know the camera, like I know the gear.
Yeah.
I know, I know the technicalities because I've seen it from a Showtime level for the last 3 years.
Crazy.
So that's how we got to where I'm at now. So they essentially call me friends of the family, right? Associate producer, whatever you want to call it. But Matt put me in position, and thank God the last couple of years I've been able to get paid, to learn.
Amazing, man. What they put together and putting people on. I mean, I just love hearing it, man. That's what you're supposed to do is bring up the
Yeah,
people around
facts.
you, empower them, not just give them. There's a lot of, remember back in the day, everybody rolled in with their crew.
Yep.
They just were leeching off it. That's not what's going on there.
No,
and
no,
that's
no,
what
no.
I love to hear.
Yeah, no. Matt has been very cognizant of. He will put us in position. He doesn't want to give us quote unquote too much or anything like that, but he'll put us in position, no problem. And that's and at the end of the day, that's all you could really ask for.
No
like,
doubt.
yo, just give me a shot, right? Like let me figure this thing out. And I will say, between him and Barron, they have, which is why I feel very, very comfortable in, my direction going to media next and all that good stuff. So I was put in position.
That's crazy.
Congrats,
man.
man.
That's it.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. I got little known fact, but I got to put it on the table. Every dog in my family, and Ramasio met my dog the other day. Every dog in our family is named after famous athletes, and we got a big old Mastiff. So we had
Y'all
to
got a
choose.
Mastiff?
We got a Mastiff. It's only 125 pounds. He's supposed to be bigger, but
Only?
he's a big boy, right?
That's huge.
So
I
we
get it.
wanted to give him a big name, and literally the two names that me and my wife were choosing between was Barron and Stacks. Barron for Baron Davis, and Stack for Steven Jackson. We roll with Steven Jackson, so literally I get mad at my dog. Steven Jackson, get over here! Like
That's
so.
crazy.
Our dog is Stack. Ends up naming the baseball team after Stack. We go and meet him at the All the Smoke the first time.
Yep, that's right. You showed
Obviously,
me the
said what's
picture.
up to Matt and everything, but we had to meet Stack for the first time. So that was crazy. But the second time we came out, I got to just give him so much props, man. The second time he came out, he told the team to come out. So he met the whole baseball team. These are 8, 9, and 10-year-olds. He spent a ton of time with them, did the show, told them afterwards, he's like, hey, I'm going to come to y'all game tomorrow. I know after the show up here, they went and partied all night and everything, whatever. Who knows what they did? He showed up the next day and coached first base for these 9 and 10-year-olds. That's so dope.
I'm not even surprised.
That's so dope.
Stack is in this world of high celebrity athletes he's one of the most grounded. Like, I don't want to say humble, but I'm like, dude, he's like grounded.
Man.
And he's one of those people where, if you respect him and he'll, like I said, he'll do shit like come to the game. He'll go out of his way to, like, if you've made him feel some kind of way, like, nah, what you guys got going on? All right, cool. Can I help, or you need, like,
seriously, he's been 100% that. I can't thank him enough, man.
Surprised.
He's been amazing, but that's
shout
a little sidetrack.
Yeah, shout out to Stack 5.
Serious. And then we'll just transition, man. We're going to start to wrap this up. What's next for Ray Young in the future? I know there's a lot on the table, but where do you see this legacy leading you down the road, man?
Media all day. So I'm 10 toes in the media world. I'm creating multiple podcasts right now as we speak.
Yes.
One being, I'll give you I'll give you one, which is funny.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a podcast now with one of my friends who owns. She makes shampoos and conditioners. She's been in the hair care field forever, but she came from the music industry, and she has a podcast all about hair and Black women hair, because that's the special. You know what I'm saying. It's a thing. It's a lot that comes with that, right? So I go like, so I got a podcast coming out with her talking about hair. Obviously, there's going to be a lot more IPs that are going to come through the All the Smoke Productions, which I will have my hand in, and then I'm also building my own personal brand, of which I'm just going to do a lot more of this, a lot more production, just even on my own. Because as I told you guys, I think offline we were talking a lot about the production and the how the matrix works.
Yep.
And what I realized is it's like, hey, once you build your content catalog, kind of takes a mind of its own. Once you get to around 50, as I told you, 50, 100 episodes. So like I said, I'm going to do, very short stuff, either about myself, my life, or my network, because I realize that's been a superpower. So I'm going to definitely do a lot more interviewing, a lot more social media stuff, and just essentially just go all in on the media side, because I get asked all the time, like, hey, can you help me produce this or help me do this? So now I'm finally gonna take full advantage.
You got incredible stories, man. We don't even have enough time for all of them. So that's gonna be amazing when he leads on that.
Oh
man.
yeah, because I mean, think about another one that I will give away. So I am gonna talk. I'm gonna call it league status.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Where essentially I talk to other people that, hey, maybe they didn't have a huge NBA career. Maybe they didn't go to UCLA, but like Nene, right? They leveled up in life, right? Doing different things. So I always want to hear what our old guys, our old homeboys are doing. Nate Marassi, for one, back coaching at St. Joe's, which I think is
amazing.
Super.
I love it.
Super, super dope, right? So I essentially just want to get my network, sit down with my network and have fun. But I'm gonna call it league status, because I think all of my dudes, whether they went to the NBA or pros, and then we're talking about, we haven't even gotten to the baseball side. I mean, we haven't even gone there.
Yeah.
But that's it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to be media. I'm also working on a pretty big deal in the background where I can actually bring a whole production studio to a network. So I mean,
Man.
like I said,
So are you guys responsible for doing like all the back end stuff, like all the B-roll stuff and the?
no, that's a whole. We got a whole.
That's a
editing
monster
team.
right there.
Yeah.
So I'll leave you guys with some shortcuts before I get out of here. But nah, we have somebody else do that. I've now gotten my skill level to where like I can do your basic editing now. So I can at least give it to somebody and have them make it pretty, but I could at least get it down. To where you need it and all that stuff. But like I said, that's just from being around. What we focused on is just that, as I told you guys, it really is more of a show.
Got it.
Meaning that you do need to, do some form of research, find out what they've previously done, just so you're not asking the same questions as, they were on, let's say, Club Shay Shay or It Is What It Is, if they're on there, et cetera, et cetera. So we kind of, just give an outline of the show and kind of having a pulse on like what's cool and what's going on also. Because I used to do this thing called What's Burning, which they kind of stopped, where it was just like him and Stack talking. So I think we're going to get back more to that dynamic.
Bring it
also.
back. I love it.
But it's a show. I mean, it literally is. I mean, you'd be surprised. Not to say that it's some like crazy heavy lift, but you'd be surprised like how everything is definitely written out for a reason, on point. These questions for a reason. And Matt and Stack may go off depending on the whoever's in the chair, but for the most part, we got everything spelled out for them.
That's so dope.
sure.
Seeing it firsthand too, their personalities.
Oh, yeah.
They
We went to the first one together.
The first
man.
one,
So,
at
we
Urban
used-
Roots.
Roots,
Yep.
yeah.
Shout out to Urban Roots.
Oh man, so
gotta ask them a couple basketball things before we wrap it up.
no doubt.
So I made a really drunk bet, and I've been just trying to like.
Yeah, this
I
is
want to
gonna be
like
good.
analyze my drunk bet.
Yeah.
I made it in front of Rene, and it was $1,000 bet with my buddy Clay, who's a restaurateur. He owns a couple big restaurants here in Sacramento.
Okay.
I would just love to get your take on it.
Okay.
Okay, so if you had to put $1,000 down on who's going to go the furthest in the East between the Bucks and the Celtics.
Celtics.
Ooh.
Okay, you answered that a little fast. But
Celtics.
Okay.
Because they've been there.
Yeah. Oh,
Because
he don't like that answer. That's not where his $1,000
Yeah.
went.
I'm just
because
so for
though,
me,
I think the Bucks, who obviously have already won, they won under a different tenure. Figuring out the whole Dame thing. So I don't bet on any team that has made a major trade or
That's
got a
interesting.
major
That's
situation.
interesting.
Never, not the first year. Never.
Can I text you before I make another big bet?
Yeah, because
I'm an
now-
emotional guy, so
Yeah.
my thing is I'm such a Dame fan. And by the way, and I'm not just saying this.
No doubt.
Just talk about music. He is
The best.
Have you heard his music?
I repost all of his music, and Dame, typically when I repost his music, he'll repost it. Dame is somebody that I met, obviously, when I got older and gave him the town biz respect. But he is no doubt the best NBA rapper that we've had. And I go,
Let's
whenever
go.
Ever.
he sits down for good, I go, he'll forever get paid off his
Man.
music. He's nice.
Man.
And I mean, he's just taking it to a whole level. Do you guys remember the old school? Remember that tape that had Jason Kidd?
That had all,
what was that called?
God, I'm a heck of mad. I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
I know. Hey, I can.
It was
J.R. Ryder.
J.R. Ryder,
is on
yes.
there. Cedric Ceballos, Flow On.
Come on.
Come on, we had all that. So it was
All
all
I'm
the
saying
NBA
is-
players had this CD.
Yeah, what was it?
So don't make big bets right after a
No.
trade. My whole thing is I'm really emotional. I'm a big Dame fan. I'm also a big Giannis fan.
Okay.
But then I really felt bad about my bet because about 3 days after I made the bet, we went and saw the Celtics play the Kings, and they just
whooped them.
destroyed them by like 20. But here's the interesting thing about the Celtics for me.
Okay.
I don't think Jaylen Brown and Tatum should be on the same team.
Ooh, I don't know, man.
Is that a weird thing to say?
No, because everybody's had.
They
that
don't look
sin-
like
When
they
Tatum-
love
so-
to play.
so when
I
Ta-
could say
so-
I could
so-
agree with
So
that.
the night
statement.
the night that the Celtics played the Kings, Tatum was out, and the ball movement for the Celtics was absolutely incredible. Everyone was getting buck. There was like 4 or 5 players that had over 20 points. It just looked different. So that's just my take.
Yeah, my take is just Dame is such a huge part now of the Bucks that I don't see it happening the first year, but I go next year, watch out.
Western Conference Finals, if you had to make a prediction, who would it be? This
I'm
guy.
actually I'm gonna go back to Denver.
100%.
I don't necessarily believe in Minneapolis. Just don't.
No, not a believer.
Don't believe it, and it's only because I know what's his name, Anthony
Edwards.
has it, but I can't say I'm fully sold on Carl Anthony in the playoffs. I'm not sold yet, I promise you I want him to show me, but I don't see it. I think they're good front runners, good regular season guys, but I'm gonna go somewhere between Denver and
Yeah,
it really could be the Kings.
So
really could.
He gonna be happy with that statement.
I am, but I'm a realist. And this is who I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be Denver and the Clippers. I think the Clippers.
The Clippers now. The Clippers are like rolling. So here's my thing. What did I tell you before? If
Major trades.
Made a major trade.
This wasn't a major trade. These guys have been going every other year.
That's a major trade.
Now they all play in the men's gym.
What did it for me was when Russell Westbrook was like, "I'm good off the bench." I'm not a big Westbrook fan at all. But damn, I think he's showing some maturity. That's
For
number
sure.
one. And by the way, Kawhi Leonard, the media sucks, generally speaking.
Yep.
Media just makes a bunch of shit out of things that they shouldn't. Kawhi Leonard's a legend.
Facts.
I mean, Kawhi is a bad man. Like
Facts.
his work ethic is just, anyways. So I'm high on the Clippers right now.
I'm not mad at the Clippers. I just think, like I said, major trade, James Harden, and remember, we still haven't seen James Harden do anything in the playoffs yet. So
Not yet.
That's why I go like, it makes sense now, but I go like, I gotta see him during.
I don't
the
know
playoffs.
who else it's gonna be, but I'm just hesitating on him. He loves the Clippers, and I'm like, man, I don't know if they fit. We'll see. We'll
see.
obviously see.
We'll definitely see. What about who? First of all, who's your team?
Kings, diehard.
Kings, diehard.
Mitch Richmond's my favorite player of all time.
Mitch Richmond.
Mitch Richmond is literally what. Man, don't even get me. I'm 40, but I'm also like, when I'm listening to you tell your basketball stories, you were at the cusp. Correct me if I'm wrong. Of when basketball used to be just a grimy grind out. When you mentioned defense, and by the way, shout out to Matt Barnes real quick. I got to say this. The Sacramento Kings commentators are the most annoying. They're some of the worst commentators.
Oh, that's hilarious! Really?
No,
But Matt,
thank goodness Matt's
but
there.
Matt is the one guy who's been a savior and just keeps it 100. And the last like 2 or 3 nights in a row, they keep on asking him, "So what's your keys?" He's like, "The key is for these guys to play some fucking defense."
Yeah.
because then they'll start making some. So anyways. Mitch Richmond's my favorite player. I'm a diehard Sacramento Kings fan.
I'm not mad at that. Can we claim Mitch?
I mean,
Warriors?
run TMC.
Yeah,
How can we not?
Yeah, I was like, we got to claim Mitch too. Mitch. First of all, he's a legend. Another men's gymmer, and also we used to play in Calabasas when obviously he was well past his prime.
Yeah.
But could still get a bucket.
Oh, he
can't leave him open.
He was a bucket.
He's gonna knock that down, guys.
Man.
So Mitch is actually like a riot on the low. He is like hilarious. Like if you ever meet Mitch, he's a funny dude.
That's dope. And before we get to the final questions, I do have to admit, now that I got a fellow light-skinned cat in the room with me at the same time, man, you know I love me some Steph.
Yeah.
But that MFer took my dream, man. I thought I was going to be the baddest light-skinned shooter to play for the Oakland, for the Warriors, man. He stole my dream, man. He stole my dream, Ray.
I'm not even mad at it because, like I said, Nene had the smoothest, prettiest J
Literally
ever.
living my dream, man. I love you, Steph.
And really, this is what I tell people. We were only a few years away because think about how much basketball changed like after we stopped playing. One, you don't have to wrestle no more.
Hey,
Okay.
no, 100%.
I ain't gotta wrestle and fight with you no more. All right. The hand check is gone.
Yep.
Right. Then I also go like, this is the era of the combo. The reason why I wasn't a full on NBA player for years was because you were either a point guard or a guard or a shooting guard.
Yeah.
Or you were a shooting guard or a small forward, or you were a small forward and a power forward, or you were a center. Now it's just put the best cats on the floor. It don't matter what you play. If you got a Nene and he can shoot, who gives a shit if he's playing the 1, the 2, or a 3? You need a shooter out, right?
Doubt.
So I was just a couple years away where I was like, yeah, the combo, the 3-and-D dude, like, yes, I would have been him. Nene could have easily been him for his shooting ability all day. And then I go, the other thing that has changed is imagine how much money we would have made.
Oh, NIL deals, man.
No, bro, seriously.
Man.
We were our high school team was nationally ranked.
Top
We had-
25 from sophomore year
Yeah,
on. Never left the top 25.
We had what, probably 8 dudes that went D1.
Yeah, it's 9.
9.
9 from the year before, from Rashawn's year, our year, and the year after was 9.
Yep. Shout out to Rashawn. And Rashawn got a natty, D2 at Metro. I mean, we had like, just the landscape has changed so much. I always say, like, dude, if I have a child that loves basketball, I'm like, oh, I just can't wait. Because I was like, you guys can get away with murder.
Man, no doubt. No doubt.
You can literally get away with murder.
I was just explaining, shoot, this might have been last week, man. We were right at the beginning where the big dudes start shooting far back. So literally, I mean, Matt Barnes our guy.
Yep.
This MF was shooting so far past what I'm supposed to be the shooter. I'm like, dude, can you get down? But he started that stuff. He changed the game, man.
He did. And I tell because people always talk about like, man, I said, dude, look. I said, first of all, people don't realize how much of Matt's game he peeled back.
Yeah.
Because if you remember with us, he was more guard. He was
Yes,
bringing
he
it up.
was.
If you had a mismatch, he was bringing the ball up the court. So by the time he got to UCLA, he was actually playing in the post.
Yeah.
The post actually got him to the league.
Yeah,
It wasn't even him being the guard.
It was.
That's what got him to the league.
It's just crazy.
Crazy, right? And now you could be 7'4" and shoot a 3. You don't get your big ass down there.
Oh,
I
man.
need Nene shooting. I don't need you 7'4". Get your
It was
butt
crazy.
down there.
It was crazy. Shoot, man. And he wasn't the only tall one shooting from way out there, man.
Yeah,
So-
but the game has changed, so much when we were playing. I'll tell you another thing that I realized. It's like we were still at the end of that like super physical era, right?
For sure.
Where it's like you knew what teams are going to try to beat you up and, chuck you off of every screen and make life a living hell. And I'm like, man, if I could have moved around like the way they could move around now.
no doubt.
Oh, my.
No doubt.
If you can come off screens the way they come off screen, like, because back then,
Can't be in the airspace.
can't be in the airspace or
landing, like,
land, like all that type of
That's
stuff.
wild.
I mean, Ramasio would have never been able to guard us if he was in that era, Shout out to Ramasio in the
Shout out
background
to
right
Mas.
now. That's all he had was to rough us up, man.
Oh man, Master's gonna put all the muscles into you, every last one of them. So I go like, I do like this. I don't know. I hate to use the light skin reference, but I'm like, yo, this is definitely the light skin era of basketball.
Yeah,
It's so
I feel
nice.
you, man.
It's so nice, and I can't get in your space. I can't. You know what I mean? It's like a gentleman's game now. It's like it's so different.
I love
but
Steph.
obviously, we all still love basketball. Me and Nene are Warriors fans. That's why I was.
I was just about to ask you.
Yeah,
Okay.
No.
Big
We're
time.
Warriors fans. We used to go to the games when
nobody was
was in. Okay,
When
we
used to
were
get
losing
courtside,
for
It
sure.
didn't matter. It was
Oh,
easy.
you could walk down the court side, no problem. Like it wasn't.
They were terrible.
Oh, it was not a thing at all. And we used to still show up, cheer, wear our Hardaway. I went to all the Tim Hardaway's camps back in the day. So I go, I'm just happy that I was alive to say I watched the Warriors win 4 rings. And I
wild.
went to all of those, except the last one.
Yep.
But I went to all 3 parades with the team. Bob Myers, got me in the door.
That's great.
Yep. So I've been on all those. I got plenty of footage. Like I said,
My little man went to 3 parades in the first 5 years of his life. He thought it was normal.
He thought that was just a regular.
Normal.
And
He
has
just like, another parade, Dad? My bad.
Yeah, and you like, dude, we've waited 30-something years.
Yeah, you don't
for this
even
to happen.
understand,
You
son.
don't even get it. Yeah, so
I'm still waiting.
I was gonna say, I think you guys are close with
Man.
with De'Aaron Fox. I think you guys got something you could build off of. You guys don't really play deep, but I do go. You guys are so fast and playing that up-tempo, old-school Warriors style of basketball. I think by the time the end of the season comes, I think the Kings are going to wear a lot of teams out.
I'm not
just
mad
from
at that
this.
being the number 2.
I think
team.
we're missing until we get to a place where we can win a ring. I think we're missing one big name, one
That's
big
fair.
piece. Yeah.
That's fair. I could see that. If I was you guys, obviously, yeah, I would get a one of those hybrids, somebody 6'7" to 6'9"
Yep.
could do a little bit of
Like a
everything.
Zach LaVine. Been wanting a Zach LaVine for a while.
and that's fine. Yeah. See, something like
Love
that,
it.
and I go
And
like,
it's hard trusting Mike Brown because sometimes I'm just scratching my head.
yeah,
Scratching my head.
Really?
But
Oh,
well,
man, I like
the other
him,
night
man.
he like pulls Monk. He's got the short leash thing. I'm a huge Malik Monk fan. So Malik Monk plays 5 minutes. Matt Barnes commented on it after the end of the game. Matt's like, man, let the guy play.
Yeah.
Which I really respect because Matt actually speaks a little bit. Next night, which was last night, Malik puts 37 on him. 37 off the bench. Off the bench.
Man, that's
why
Wins
does
in-
he even have a leash?
Yeah, I know.
like,
I don't.
like,
he,
when do
I
we
don't think
leash?
he's.
There was
I
some
think he's earned
footage.
it.
There was some footage with Mike Brown in practice, and Mike just
okay.
gets on him. I think Malik is known to do some stuff.
Okay.
And anyways, but
I get it.
I'm still fired up on the Kings where we're at.
Man.
Yeah, I think you guys, like I said, in the next couple of years, I think you guys are going to be content. Like, if not this year, because I go like, yeah, Minnesota's run. I'm not even
What's your Super Bowl prediction? Who's going to play in the Super Bowl?
Niners.
I love it.
yeah.
Are
I
you a
know
Niners?
Nene
Are you a
hates
Niners
that,
fan?
Man,
So
man.
so this is where
Them
me and Nene
Oakland-
go the
Let's
other way, right?
These Oakland cats
Yeah,
that
so-
love San Francisco,
Yeah,
man.
so
I
when we
tell
were
you,
growing
man.
You're
up-
not a Niners fan. Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
So when we were
man.
growing up, but let's give context to this, okay? I'm an 80s
Oh, I know.
baby.
Oh, I know.
Right? I'm an 80s baby. Nene's an 80s baby too, right? So growing up in Oakland, my parents weren't, or no, my dad was from Berkeley, so I won't say that they weren't from Oakland, but I feel like Nene, and you had an older brother.
Yep.
I feel like Nene
Which
had
he wouldn't
the
let
true,
me steer me wrong.
Yeah, he had the true Raider Nation locked in. Did you guys have flags? Like Nene had like
man.
Raider stuff. Like he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
a Raiders guy,
Yeah.
right? His family, Raiders folks. I was growing up to where my family didn't really have any allegiance to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at who the hell is here. Well, they were in LA at the time when I
Yeah.
was growing up. So I'm like, I'm not cheering for nothing in LA. Hell no. We got them boys right across the water. And come to find out, this dude, Joe Montana, is nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? Jerry Rice, nice.
Mm-hmm.
And how I really became a Niners fan was because I found out Jerry Rice is from Mississippi. Now, my stepdad,
Yep.
who I
I
really
like
call dad, that raised me, shout out to Joe Lewis, he's from Monticello, Mississippi, and Jerry Rice went to Jackson State. So I had been to Jackson State as a kid, and I knew my dad was from there. He loved Jerry Rice. I love Jerry Rice. And
I'm
that's
down
how
with
I got to the Niners side.
I'm down with. Here's the thing. I'm not even.
That's how I
I'm
got
not
it.
even mad at Oakland cats that cheer for the Niners. Who I really got a problem with is anybody around our age that their main teams are the A's, the Niners, and the Lakers. Then if that's your 3 teams, and we got a bunch of our boys that those are their 3 teams. Your whole fandom is built on being a bandwagon
Bandwagon.
dude
Yep.
because they were dope all when we were young.
Yep.
Your whole fandom is based off of that.
And I tell people, I was a Magic Johnson fan. I
Yeah.
was not a Lakers fan.
You're
Right?
a- you're a Warrior fan. You know what I'm saying?
And Kareem.
Of course,
first.
I'm not saying you
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
like him, but the ones that be banging on like the whole
Nah, yeah,
fandom is
I-
based off of bandwagon.
I don't trust you, or I don't even trust Cowboy fans who ain't from Texas.
Man, hey,
the-
yeah,
like, what the hell?
Man, ain't
How
most
did
of them
this-
not from Texas?
Most of the
Most of
Cowboy
them.
fans aren't from Texas, and I'm like, what the hell are y'all like? It's crazy, but that's how I became.
love it.
I am an Oakland A's fan, obviously.
Yeah, of course. You're supposed to.
Yeah, and people don't give that era of baseball in Oakland enough respect.
This guy's a diehard Walt
Yeah.
Weiss fan. Diehard.
Shortstop.
Yes, sir. See, he knows it, baby.
Come on, baby.
Hey.
Hey, listen. That era does not get the respect it deserves, and the only reason we don't talk about it is just because Mark McGwire and Jose Canseco was there.
Yep.
Yeah, they were probably using roids, but so the hell what? No roid can hit the ball over the fence.
Man.
I don't care what anybody says about it. You've played
Yes.
like
Yes.
if you've really played baseball, I don't give a damn what steroid you on. It is not gonna help you hit that 80, 90 mile an hour fastball. Like it's not. Your hand-eye coordination has nothing to do with the strength of your body. Like it's the hand-eye. So yeah, all right, they may not have hit it 490 feet. They may have only hit it 350, but you still have to use, hand-eye coordination to hit a baseball.
Yeah,
So I go like, I still don't. I mean, I
that was
get
the
it.
best era of
It was the best. It was just the best era. We were
Late
really
80s.
Ooh, it was great. It was great.
and you couldn't even be mad at the Giants.
no.
So you're just to switch gears, you are still hooping?
I still hoop to this day.
Okay.
So what I've
Because
learned,
I want to say, can we make something happen? It doesn't have to be like anytime soon, but I want to see this guy play some hoops, and I would just love.
No. We don't need to play because I don't want him
Man.
to damage anything. He's already got Achilles.
I got no time to be hurt, man.
But hey, we'll shoot. That's what we'll do.
You basically died on a basketball court.
I'm good.
It's an Achilles. His Achilles is fine,
You're like,
Ray.
you're good. You'll make it.
That's great.
You'll make it.
That's great.
But I go like, let's do. We'll do some shooting or something. I don't want to put Nene too far out there.
Yeah, man. Hey, love it. You want to hit him with the questions and roll this out?
Yeah, so we basically just want to end on this in no particular order. We're big foodies. You may or may not be a foodie.
No, I still eat like an athlete. So
Okay.
so everything is still practical,
Okay.
which is how I keep the weight down.
Okay.
Then
It's just protein and vegetables.
Let's skip the foodie stuff then and just go straight to the music.
Yes.
And then the other one.
I
So
love it.
top 5 artists in no
Ooh.
specific category.
Okay.
Just
Yeah,
top 5
give us your
for you.
list.
Top 5. So 1, Tupac. Right. Let's get that out. I think he's arguably the greatest artist that we've had. Can put you through every single emotion. He could be a Black Panther 1 minute and be yelling F the police the next minute and then Dear Mama the next minute. He can put me through all the emotions today. And then Ambitions of a Writer was probably the number one come out game song ever. I won't deny you. Come on, man.
it.
Stop it.
That's it.
Yeah. All right. So Pac. Then I'm gonna go after Pac. For me, I'm gonna go is Jay-Z.
Okay.
Right? Because Jay-Z pretty much owned my brain cells from
Yes.
you
you were a
15
big
to
East Coast
35
dude growing
it's
up, man.
It's like, yeah, man, the things that I remember, and I'll tell you one another wild story. Jay-Z picked me, Baron Davis, and Rico Hines up to go to the Hard Knock Life concert my freshman year and wore a Baron Davis jersey on stage. Oh, and Todd was there too. Todd Ramazar, shout out to the agent. And bro, we went stupid. So
You were in high school when this happened?
no, I was at UCLA
oh,
my
my bad.
freshman year. He sent the limo. His guy is hip hop, right? And his guy is hip hop. They had somehow met. I don't know how Baron had got connected. Oh, actually, I do know. I want to say they were just on Sunset. Somehow one of Jay's team recognized Baron because they all love hoop, like blah blah blah. Connected, said Jay told him come to the thing. He called me and Rico. He literally sent the limo, and we went to a Hard Knock Life concert where Jay-Z, comes, up from the stage. UCLA number 5.
That's
Davis.
crazy.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
So that's why he's
I love that.
So
This
he's
might
number
be
2.
one of the craziest stories that
No, I
we've
can't
had
make it up.
since
That's why I
you've
said
been here.
league status, bro. I'm gonna tell all of these wild stories that I got from UCLA.
Oh,
like
man.
this. So then 3, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Now this might throw you off a little bit, but I'm gonna go Andre 3 Stacks.
Okay. No, that
Okay.
don't throw me off. At all.
Outkast, arguably the greatest rap
that was
group
number
ever.
one on Otis Amy's one.
Oh,
right?
really? Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Otis
No.
Amy put Andre number 1.
Number one.
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. For my era of rap and he was, I'm not gonna say he wasn't like the first conscious one, but he was like the first, in my opinion, conscious one that like bars were way above everybody's head.
Yeah.
I mean, he like way above. And the tracks and what he was talking about sometimes didn't even match. And they finally, in my opinion, came to a head. Quim I still listen to the Quim album, mostly.
Oh man.
3 Stacks verses, of course. So fourth, I'm gonna go. I mean, I know this is cliche, but I kind of got to throw Biggie in there just because he also owned my brain cells for a long time. And fifth, and this is in no particular order, I have to, being from the town, I'm throwing Too Short in there.
Yes, sir. Let's
Period.
go.
Point blank. I'm going to give E40 honorable mention, of course. And then I'll give you another one that I think people slept on, another honorable mention group out of Oakland, Bad Influence.
Oh, man.
Rapping Ron, Ant Diddley.
I love this.
Come on, man.
This
I mean,
list
his
right here.
Come on,
li-
man.
Can I just say, because you guys grew up together,
Come on.
my man's list is much different than yours.
Okay.
His is, Keek the Sneak,
Yeah, no, I'm not even.
Yuck Mouth.
Yeah, I'm not even mad at it.
Hey, he rode
Spice
back from me
one.
from Tahoe. He was like, man, this playlist. I was like, hey,
Yes.
don't even worry
so,
about that.
what's funny is we always talk about how like, hey, I was probably one of the few kids in Oakland that listened to like like I wanted to hear everybody.
I wasn't sure you weren't going to say KRS-One
Yeah,
like that.
Well, I had Rakim and
Yeah,
all of them
I'm
there,
saying.
but I was one of the few kids that like purposely. I got waves from Yo MTV Rap. That
wild.
just to show you where I was at with my rap.
Yeah.
Where my level was
Yeah.
like, nah. We had Soul Beat, right,
That's
which
right.
gave us all the Keeks and
That's
gave
right.
us all of our local stuff. And then my other Yo MTV Raps. That's that.
I saw on your Instagram that you were with a group of people and one of the dopest rappers right now, Simba.
Shout out to Simba. So Simba, funny. He's also a hooper.
Oh, yeah.
So he's a hooper, which I didn't know, but he literally knows everybody. He goes to my barber, whole 9 yards, and he's definitely one of the most refreshing new rappers.
Incredible.
That I loved and loved from the beginning, just because this era of rap has changed so much in the sense of like you really don't have to be a good artist.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Yeah.
if you figure out how to cook something up at the house and just put it out, something's gonna
It's
hit.
catchy.
Or
Catchy.
it's catchy. You say Gucci Gang 1,000 times or
Yeah.
something, put over a cool
No,
beat.
he's at the top of the food chain.
He's definitely at the top of the food chain for the new era. So I go like, I hope we get more of this from the younger generation in the sense of I hope it comes back to the art and the skill, right? Not necessarily just the production or if your Instagram is popping or is this popping. Like, can you rap? And not only can you rap, can you deliver it to me to where it's palatable, right? So I hope we're going there, and obviously shout out to Simba again, but I that's why I respect Dude.
I just saw the Roots at the Fox Theater in Oakland last week.
I
and
could
it
definitely
was-
put Black
Man.
Thought in top 5
Black's
too.
my number
Let's go.
one. His
Yeah,
is
I
wild.
could put.
He
I could
just
put
went
Black
too,
Thought.
man. I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see his freestyle on?
10-minute freestyle, yeah, incredible.
Man, some days I'm one of those people that still use music to like, get me that 10-minute
that's
freestyle.
That's the wild
Oh,
one.
that would get me. I'm like, did this dude just rap? I'm like, all right, well, I can go do whatever. I got some ism. I go to meetings and listen to E40 just so I could, throw a couple words that I know they won't know, and just to, you know what I mean? Get a little laughter. You know what I mean? Music still influences me at times. So.
oh, man.
So I'm glad to hear Keek and Sneak is in your top
Oh, yeah.
5.
You know
shout
it,
out
man.
to
He
Keek.
should-
He's from 106 too.
He grew up in the apartments, 2 houses in between the apartments that he was at on Allendale. So
That's where he grew up.
I know he probably was at more than one place.
He moved, or he went to 106. That's how I knew when he played for BW.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes, Boris Ward.
Boris Ward, yeah.
Listen, man, I heard one of his first tapes when he was at Bret Hart. He literally had a song, "Don't You Ever Come to the Heart." Like that's how far back we go.
And that's exactly that's exactly why my mom was gonna send me to St. Joe's. Okay, just so we're clear. Yeah, the whole Bret Hart thing. That's where I was supposed to go. I was supposed to go to Bret Hart.
Not the business.
Absolutely not.
Nah.
Okay,
Nah.
wasn't gonna happen.
This has been amazing for me because even like that day where we went golfing, because you got to understand, like 6 years we've been doing real estate together. This is my mortgage guy. I hung my license at his office.
Mug now.
And when I see him, like there's a lot of people that see Rene. They're like, is he really like that? I'm like, there's two Renes.
Yes.
There's mortgage Rene.
Yes.
And there's Oakland Rene.
And there always has been, and that's why I've always respected Rene, because I'm like, dude, Rene will still get you straight A's. He's still gonna show up on time. He's still gonna do everything he does on the court.
And we still would run away from a party when they shooting fast, because I was there with you, baby.
Come on, baby. We got so many of those stories, but also I just go like, Rene was never a punk, but was also never afraid to be smart, which our era, the early 80s, the Oakland, that wasn't like the coolest thing in the world, right?
Man,
like,
they're giving you some serious props right now.
No. It's like, I can't explain how real that is, and unless you live in a grimy urban environment, you don't get what that means until you meet a Rene, where it's like, nah, okay, cool. I can hoop. I can be cool. Rene was never at a loss for women, right? He was always out at the parties, right? It wasn't like he couldn't go out the house or nothing, but he handled his business. And I go, that, like I said, those were things that I remember and that I wanted to see and be around, because we knew what the other side looked like.
Yeah.
We knew how
that, man.
we had a teammate who I still think is who I still like better than me, more talent, had a way bigger upside, Joe Barker. Dude, we had a teammate, no doubtably better than all of us, was the first 6'8", had handle, could bring the ball up the court, could shoot the J, could post you up. He was a poor man's big dog, maybe. He couldn't shoot the three, but his midi and handle was crazy. Crazy. But the Oakland streets, got a hold of him. So Rene was refreshing. Like, I knew I could be smart. I knew I could handle my business. I knew I could party. I knew I could do all the things. So that's why, Nene.
That's a lot of love.
I appreciate that, man. Big time.
It's real talk.
And I will say too, this was his idea of what the podcast name was going to be. What I wanted was From Oakland to Sacktown, and he said
From Oakland to Sacktown.
See?
Hey, it's dope. It's dope. But
he said, what did he say? He said, I don't know.
I was like, man, we trying to have Uncle Phil Oates, the owner of the Kings, on our podcast. He gonna come on here from Oakland to Sacktown? Like, can we keep it right? I'm just saying, man.
But you might have to keep a couple of episodes. This is the Oakland to Sack version. A couple of those. Both of those.
When I first saw the picture of Rene though with the afro, he had this afro out to here, man. I was like, you got to bring that back.
I'll tell you, in RIP. Mike Austin, I found a picture of me, Rene, Nate Marassi, Mike Austin, our first dance at St. Joe's. And guess what was behind? The only reason I didn't I'm gonna send it to you. It had Mickey Mouse in the background. But
I know what
you know what I'm talking about. But we was stunting. I'm talking about we was fresh to death though. Okay. You saw the swag, and we were literally probably the only 4 kids from Oakland, and it was I'm an airdrop.
Trying to be hella hard. It had Mickey Mouse in the back, man.
Yeah, we was trying to be tough, but it had Mickey Mouse in the back, and I was like, I don't know if this is gonna age well, but I'm with my dog, so I'm gonna keep this one.
Man.
Yeah, true story.
We might have to grab that to put that on here, man. Even I'm gonna be embarrassed, but I'm not mad at it. I'll get to this. Actually, I'm gonna get that second question that's left with you. I'm gonna throw a wrinkle in here. How many shoes out of the Ultimate Sneaker book would you
Which I
not
saw.
have?
Yeah. So
This
good-
dude had all the shoes.
So
growing up.
what people didn't know about the shoe thing was this. So one, I couldn't get shoes when I was young, and my mom saw no benefit.
Yeah.
She did not give a damn. Just go and get those $50 over there. The Copeland's 2 for $55. I pretty much mastered that through elementary. Now, what I also didn't know, now being an adult, now seeing my friends have kids and all that good stuff, I didn't realize how much my feet grew. So now looking back, it's like, yeah, why the hell would my mom pay all this money?
Yeah.
And I'm about to, like, I literally need some new shoes in about four or 5 months tops. Like, I'm swapping out of them. So the first thing that my dad did, he got me a job at Foot Locker. True story. The day I turned 16, the manager of the store luckily knew who I was because he followed high school basketball. My dad told him, when I come in here and buy all these shoes, that's who it's for. He said, "Oh, don't worry about it. Just tell him to bring some black pants. Whenever he turned 16." And I literally walked in there. He was a brother. He was a black dude, and that was my job until I left for UCLA. And that's how I ended up having everything. And that was a burning desire in the sense of that was, 16, so 96. So from 96, I went to UCLA with probably 70, 80 pairs of shoes out of high school.
We gonna break out the picture with it.
Yeah, I was like, I got a whole photo shoot where they came and interviewed me back then. And then when I got to an adult, it got so bad I was up to 230 something sneakers that I had to reboot. Right, we had to come on now.
Oh man,
I literally had one wall full of boxes of shoes that went. Literally, I needed a little stair thing to get to the top ones. That's where I would, keep the high end joints.
Man.
So now I'm back down to about 130, 140.
So
right
shoes, wine.
There it is.
Yeah. So I spend all of my extra,
I love it.
Spend my extra money on shoes. And for a while, I was selling sneakers. That was one of the things I did as an entrepreneur. Yep. I figured out how to get, at the time, bots was a big thing. So I had all of these expensive-ass $1,500 bots where I had to load proxies. This is sneakerhead talk, but proxies are just IP addresses. So it looked like, 100 people were ordering. So there were probably about 3 to 5 years where I would literally, every time a sneaker would drop, I would buy somewhere between 10 to 20, 25 pair and resell them. So that was also
crazy.
one
That's
something
crazy.
on my entrepreneurial
Flipping shoes.
journey, and I still love shoes. And I will say one of my biggest goals is I want to have enough money to where I have a sneaker store and I don't care if it makes money. I don't give a shit.
I love it. That's dope.
I'll be my best customer.
Oh man, I didn't even say it because he brought this book in. I was like,
Nah,
that's perfect for Ray.
that's perfect.
It's perfect for Ray.
Perfect. Seriously.
All right, last question, then we'll wrap it up. If you could have dinner with one person, dead or alive, who would it be?
Dead or alive?
Mm-hmm.
You know who comes to mind? I'm going to go Malcolm X.
Ooh.
And let me tell you why I go Malcolm X. One, obviously for what he did for the black community, but also what he did just in general, in the sense of like, I loved that he was one of the dudes that stood on business. Like he wasn't trying to be nice. It wasn't no, slap me and we'll pray about it. It was like, nah, you smack me, some shit's about to happen. So I always remembered studying him when I was younger, And he was just one of the most intriguing people. I will say, obviously, people used to say when I used to grow my beard out that I would look like him. So I'm sure that probably had something to do with it. But I've seen every movie, read every book, and he was just one of the dudes that that just he inspired me personally. So that's why I always respected him, and I liked the way that he not only was so focused on the Black community, and then took kind of a worldwide lens on just oppression and how that flipped. So yeah, I mean, Malcolm X is one person that I would say, like, hey, if I could have dinner with one human being, it would be him.
It's amazing.
Sure. That's dope.
And he was a hustler. So I know I'm not just talking to somebody who is, some goody two shoe. It's like, nah, he has enough perspective, that I think, I remember, like I said, growing up in Oakland, right? All the things that you gotta dodge. You gotta be real good at dodgeball, right? Like real good, right? And he was one of the people that I used to read his books, and I saw how he transformed, out of his situation in St. Louis. So it gave me the confidence that, like, I don't know how I'm gonna get out of Oakland, but I'm gonna get out of here. So
that is a dope
I
way
love
to
it.
finish it.
And then
man.
I'm just selfishly, if you don't ask, you don't get fed. Next year, since you live in LA, if the Niners schedule is if the Niners are playing the Rams, I'll take this guy out. You'll come out and we'll all come out. We'll rejoice. We'll go watch the Niners beat the Rams.
Done. Hey, done. Yeah,
Let's
you don't have to
do
sell
it.
me on a good time.
Oh man. Hey, appreciate you, Ray, man. Thank you so much for taking the time, man.
Thanks for having me.
We
Appreciate
out.
you guys.